Well, well, well. Hello, hello. Hello. Hello, Moto. Come on, glasses now. Come on, glasses. Half full. If you will. Let's turn that off. Shabam-a-lama. What? Gotta turn that off too. Come on now. Come on now. Whoop. Didn't want to do that. All right. So, hello, hi, hello, hi, hello, and hi. I happen to be Goose. That was a good timing. I'm Goose, and you're not. But you could be. If you wanted to be. I don't know why you'd want to be, but you can be. Just letting you know that today's Wednesday, and we're here streaming. We're gonna be streaming Eugenics, and I just kind of want to say, like, right off the bat that I'm still open to talking about the topics that we discussed yesterday, especially because it just got, so much engagement. But I don't want that to be the sole focus of today's stream. I would really like to just get stuck into some conspiracy videos, get stuck into some eugenics, not into some eugenics, into some mugenics, and then really just kind of take it from there. I don't even think we really need music playing because Mugenics has its own music, if you will. And yeah, if you want full screen, if you want the full screen experience where you'll be able to see the full Mugenics game as well as the video that we're reacting to, then you're gonna have to go over to Twitch. That's sort of my little I'm selling my Twitch account to you people sort of spiel here. So if you want to see the conspiracy video that we end up reacting to, then feel free to head over to Twitch. It's in the pinned message in the chat and YouTube, so feel free to click on that, give me a follow, sub, and all that kind of shit, and you'll be able to see the videos and stuff. That's that's sort of how I'm gonna hold the content hostage, I guess. So here we go. Let me open this up and let me go to TikTok real quick. So we're gonna be reacting to just plain old conspiracy TikToks. Really nothing special, nothing unique, nothing crazy. Just some real general conspiracy TikToks. I meant to type in conspiracy and not conapiracy. Conapiracy. We'll do... Hey, Luke, what's up? Hey, welcome. Hi again. Hello. If you can only stay to say hi, then I appreciate it, and I would also like to say hi as well. Hi right back. Good to see you again. So it's gonna be a lot of there's gonna be a lot of like conspiracy, like Epstein file stuff. It's just that's just what the news cycle's like right now, so bear with me. I'm gonna try and sift through it. I don't really care that it's Epstein file stuff. I just feel like we're really inundated with that right now. And all that stuff really isn't conspiracy anymore. Well, I mean, it's not a theory anymore. It's really more just conspiracy. And yeah, it's what is it? It's like it's a conspiracy plus 6 months. Was it? I think it was like, it was worded more funny than that. It actually made it like hilarious. All right, so I mean, we're just gonna kind of go down the list, right? Like, I'm pretty sure. I think if I go down far enough, we miss some of the Epstein stuff. Not that, like I said, not that I don't mind covering it. I don't want that to be the sole focus of the stream, you know? We already see so much of that in the news. All right, let's see. Let me put the browser window up. Shabam. And you can't see it on YouTube because, again, we are going to... It's kind of like my little tactic of being like, well, you've got to go over to the Twitch if you want to see the video we're reacting to. So that's like your little incentive to go to the Twitch. I forgot to put on deodorant. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I also might need to get water. Nope, I don't need to get water. I'm full on water. Now, if I was in a DIY settler camp, I would probably just be rubbing lemons under my armpits. But you know what? We live in a civilized society, and gosh darn it, there is stuff that exists. It is, you know, aluminum talc and could cause cancer. But we'll find that out later on. Too late to do the studies. Now that's a conspiracy in and of itself. So, just to warn y'all, Mugenics does not like it when I tab out. So it might freak out. I might have to restart it every now and again, but we'll work our way through it. I think it'll be okay. It won't be too hard of a thing, if you will. And I will, gosh darn it. I will all day long. I just opened up my Steam. If you didn't know, Battlefield, I guess, Season 2 has come out. So, you know, if you've been playing, go out and start playing again. So yeah, we're probably not going to need any of the background music, like I said, since Mugenics kind of has its own music. Absolutely, Luke. Have a good one, man. Appreciate it. All right, here we go. Here we go. Oh, jeez. I don't doubt that. I mean, I don't doubt that he, like, positioned himself into places where he could very easily, you know, predate upon said youngsters, unfortunately. Not surprising. Oh, wait, what? All right, so obviously I have, you know, I haven't progressed too far into the game. If you're looking for a fresh save, you're probably not going to find it here.
Okay, so y'all know the hood conspiracy theory that we be seeing where police be playing dog noises in the hood to fuck with the people's minds? I got another one. Helicopter noises. Helicopters, period. Every time at nighttime, at a specific time, there's always a helicopter in my neighborhood. Every night at a specific time around the same time. Don't know helicopters fly throughout the day. They barely airplanes, but helicopters is another one. I want to add to that hood conspiracy. And I know the difference when a helicopter is looking for somebody versus when it's just flying around in the neighborhood. If they're looking for somebody, the flash is on. But every time that the helicopter is flying around, the flash is not on. Okay, so y'all know the hood conspiracy theory that we be seeing.
Oh dear.
Be playing dog noises in the hood to fuck with the people's minds. I got another one.
Oh, my lord.
Helicopter noises. Helicopters, period. Every time at nighttime, at a specific time, there's always a helicopter in my neighborhood. Every night. Every night. At a specific time, around the same time. Don't know. Helicopters fly throughout the day. They barely airplanes. But helicopters is another one I want to add to that hood conspiracy. And I know the difference when a helicopter is looking for somebody versus when it's just flying around in the neighborhood. If they're looking for somebody, the flash is on. But every time that the helicopter is flying around, the flash is not on. Okay, so y'all know the hood conspiracy theory that we be seeing where police be playing dog noises in the hood to fuck.
What? So, the conspiracy that this person is talking about is that they are hearing noises that the police are... Do I get another chance? I got another chance. If you're joining on YouTube, please don't swipe away super quickly. I would really appreciate it if you just hang around and say, what's up? And if you don't want to say what's up, then feel free to just lurk, you know? You know what I'm saying? We'll even put a poll there. Is this game of the year? I have a feeling it's going to be. Just, I mean, I know that that's like a pretty confident thing to say this early on into the year. But just from how addictive it's been, I think there's a pretty good chance. Especially just judging by previous entries from Edmund McMillen, like Binding of Isaac, I believe, was GOTY at some point. So, you know, just kind of makes sense, right? So, as far as I'm aware, and I can't say that I'm aware of every single part of society, like I don't know everything that goes on in all the different neighborhoods, but I would find it extremely hard to believe that there's a specific mission that the police are on to drum up fear in black neighborhoods. Now, I think that's very, I'm using that word very specifically. I don't think that I think this person is saying that the goal of the police is to create fear and tension. That's what I'm gathering. Just from what they're saying. I don't know for sure. But it seems like they think that these noises exist to destabilize the black community.
With the people's minds, I got another one.
So you to mess with people's minds.
Noises. Helicopters, period.
So, I mean, there's a pretty logical reason why you wouldn't see helicopters as much during the day, and then you would see them during the night. Because where are you during the day? You're probably working. Or you're probably preoccupied with, like, the kids, or your family, or whatever. If you're a stay-at-home mom, you know, that's cool, too. But, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's all kinds of factors that might cause you to not necessarily be paying attention to what's going on in the city around you, which can result in, you know, messed up perceptions, or at least perceptions of like missing time, or perceptions of, you know, they call it baby brain. You know, it's like, and I'm not just assuming that this person is a new mother, but that's an acceptable reason why you might miss helicopters during the day. I assure you, there are helicopters in most major cities flying around just constantly. Like, just because you don't realize that they're doing it doesn't mean they're not doing it. And, you know, the other point to that is that... Oh, fuck me! Jesus Christ! Thank you for following. You also scared the shit out of me. And I appreciate that. AKA Bubbly. Thank you for the follow. That gave me a heart attack, almost. That almost gave me a heart attack. Woo! Thank you for the, I'll accept it as a compliment. It's not something that you hear every day. You've got a real nice cam view. Are you telling me that I'm handsome? Or are you telling me that you like my VHSs? Because they're not mine. They're my wife's. But thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. It's hard for me to believe that there would be any reason to assume that among all of the fucked up things the cops do, that just putting your expensive ass resources into some random neighborhood just to increase fear and tension would not be a good use of those resources. I just feel like you're gonna care more about the money that you're spending if you're always bitching about your budget being too low, and you're not going to be sending out a thousands of dollars an hour piece of heavy equipment that needs to be refueled every half an hour. I just don't see that. I just don't see that happening. By the way, I'm doing fine. How are you doing? Hope you're all right. Everyone deserves to be happy in their own way, within reason.
At nighttime, at a specific time, there's always a...
But also, it's harder to see at night. And she says she knows the difference between when the cops are searching for someone and when they aren't, and she says it's because they have the lights on. You don't necessarily need lights. You can use the infrared scanners. There are those things. I just don't feel like it's worth it to obsess over something like this, or to be concerned, really, in the first place.
Helicopter in my neighborhood every night at a specific time around the same time. Don't know helicopters fly throughout the day. They barely airplanes, but helicopters is another one.
Right. The reason why could be because they're conducting an investigation. It could be a traffic helicopter because they have those. It could be like, what happens around the same time every night, maybe on the television, on your local networks? What do you think? Maybe the news, maybe the evening news, maybe where they might have a chopper in the area who does the traffic report from the chopper, perhaps? Perhaps any AM radio station who does weather? It feels like a huge reach to try and correlate a routine with something sinister. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean anything conspiratorial. It just is... It's a long chain of assumptions that you're making based on one thing that you've seen, one pattern that you've noticed. Dex, what's up? How's it going?
Add to that hood conspiracy. And I know the difference when a helicopter is looking for somebody versus just flying around.
You got to qualify it.
For somebody, the flash is on. But every time that the helicopter is flying around, the flash is not on.
So first of all, if you're in a helicopter, if you're using air traffic above a city, you have to have your flashers on, or whatever it's like the yellow lights, the lights that let people know that you're in the air. You have to have those on. So if you're noticing a helicopter noise, but not seeing any helicopters, and second of all, you said this was just a noise. You didn't say that this was a noise with no visible copter. You're saying that you're seeing a visible copter, and that it's just like floating around. What?
Okay, so y'all know the hood conspiracy theory that we...
Okay, so that was it. That was all there was to it. Like, where are you getting that? How do you come up with that, just that one specific, very specific theory? My guess is that's about the Epstein files. Let me just inform, those who may not be super familiar with it. A lot of people are saying that their QAnon theories about things like pizza and, PDF files and all that stuff were all correct. That's not necessarily what the Epstein files are saying. It's very simple to connect the facts. So the poll board was where all that QAnon stuff came from, right? Poll board on 4chan. And Ron, whatever the fuck his name was, Ron Perlman, that's not his name. Ron Perlman is actually a great actor, but that's the only name I can think of right now. So Ron Perlman was like the guy who came up with all the Q stuff, and there's no reason to believe that he wasn't colluding with somebody on that, especially the people that started the fucking board that he started posting on. And Epstein mentions that board. He mentions how he helped create that board in the files. Ghislaine Maxwell was a Reddit mod. I don't know if you knew that, but she was very active in a lot of the circles, subs. There we go. The subs on Reddit that we know contain conspiracy theories, like conspiracy, like very clearly. So it just kind of seems logical that if someone wanted to destabilize our culture, our politics, our nation, or whatever, whatever, be they a foreign agent or just some sex-crazed maniac, maybe they would start spreading conspiracy theories about PDF files hidden in pizza chains. Maybe they would even, in the actual unredacted reports, make fun of all the people who took those conspiracy theories on and ran with them, thinking maybe we should thank these people because they're taking attention away from us, perhaps, maybe. Perhaps. But either way, the focus of the Epstein files, or the focus of the people who are... I'm making sure that my dog doesn't fall off her bed right now because she is precariously close. The focus of the Epstein files right now should just be to release them to the general public, unredacted, and to just have people prosecuted for their role in his ring of whatever, PDF files. I was thinking there's so many things on the Jeffrey Epstein file, they're not supposed to happen in real life. I think so. They're not even... which are not even happening in real life. Yeah, it depends. It depends on how reliable the people who are reporting on it are. I think that Lauren Boebert's face when she walked out of the hall after reading the unredacted report just kind of says it all, really, to me. I feel like she looked shell-shocked. She looked like she found out everything that she was hoping to debunk when she saw that report. And like, I mean, I got a bit of a 1,000-yard stare, so, I kind of know what it looks like. And she definitely looked a little bit shell-shocked. So I think that people are both trying to cover up the reaction to the report by misrepresenting facts or completely making stuff up in order to muddy the waters. But the look on her face was clear as day. She saw stuff that she cannot unsee.
This video that I'm about to show you guys really did open my eyes up and kind of had my jaw drop. Let me know your personal...
So if any video on the internet, and I mean that could be long form, short form, whatever, it can contain a bunch of information, it can contain no information. If any video on the internet is a thing that gives you an epiphany, I would urge you to go outside. And if you refuse to do so, then I would urge you to seek therapy. You should not be coming to any change of life revelations from a TikTok. All right? So we'll start with that. Let's hope the video at least contains some information. And just so you guys know, I'll be concentrating less on eugenics because I have ADHD and it's very hard to concentrate, and more on reacting to conspiracy videos. So if you really want to watch eugenics gameplay, then let me know and don't let me get distracted. I really want to just tailor the experience to what you guys want and what you guys find entertaining. So we'll keep that flow, we'll keep that vibe to things, but I really love reacting to these wacky-do videos, and it helps to just kind of be able to focus my attention on them, I'm down to do either. Just let me know.
thoughts in the comments, but I'm just still trying to get over this.
Who is the Antichrist?
Oh my lord. Oh my odds and bodkins. I just don't. So in the book of Revelation, now you may know, if you're Christian, you may know all about the book of Revelation. If you, however, are also a fan of YA novels, you might also know a bit about the book of Revelation, because Timothy LaHaye came out with a real cringy book series, kind of cringy, called Left Behind. If you didn't read the Left Behind books, you're not really missing anything. But they're actually pretty entertaining for YA novels, for especially Christian YA novels, especially young earth Christian YA novels. And they've got a pretty decent amount of action in them. They've got a pretty decent amount, like the writing's pretty bad. It's definitely 9th grade level reading. 9th grade level if you skipped some classes. But it's decent. It's not bad. It's okay. Now, Nicholas Carpathia in the book series is, I think I remember his name correctly. He's the antagonist, and he plays the Antichrist. Weirdly enough, he's strangely both an amalgam of people like Donald Trump as well as people like Benjamin Netanyahu. So I don't know what Timothy LaHaye's politics are, but it's entirely possible that that's something that he is, you know, he might be an anti-Semitic. I don't know, personally. What's up, Helmet? How's it going, man? But, you know, I think that the best candidate right now for Antichrist, if you're Christian, if you subscribe to Christian, you know, the stuff in the Bible, it would be either Trump, who is actively destabilizing an entire nation and trying to start another world war, or it would be Benjamin Netanyahu, who, despite the generations of turmoil that his country has gone through, is now turning around and doing the exact same thing to a neighboring country. So, I don't know, dude. Well, not gonna lie, was here to ask, would you accept offers from designers somehow? If I were to be monetized on any of these platforms, then sure, because I would then have money to spend on artwork. The only reason that I've ever used any form of AI or my own shitty drawings is because I cannot afford artists. I've watched a lot of content on why AI art is bad, and I'm really like sympathizing with artists a lot, so I'm definitely steering way away from AI artwork and trying to focus more on just doing it myself. Just so that I can have that reputability and not have to say that I use AI. But it's so easy just to get a thumbnail from Grok or whatever. Grok's so terrible. It's such a PDF file enabler. It's real bad. Like, just if you go on like just the image generation board on there, it is just full of images of like kids and like it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. Basically, I've been running my own company since 2023. That's not a very long time. I wouldn't put that on a business loan application if I were you. I would say my business is fresh, but it is growing. And then I would show records of growth. I've been running my own businesses since I was 16. I've had my catering business now for a little over 10 years. Well, that's what I mean, Helmet. Like, I'm not good at drawing. I mean, my wife says that I'm a really good artist, but she just loves me, and I think that she thinks that what I do is good, and like I think objectively that doesn't mean that it's true, but but you never know. 21. Well, you've got plenty of time to grow your business. I wish that I could patronize it, because I am a huge fan of keeping small businesses afloat, especially if they've got good stuff. And I people who have the confidence to go to other people to advertise their artwork tend to either be scamming or have really good artwork and really care about their craft. So, and I can usually tell pretty quickly if someone's scamming. So, and I haven't seen your artwork, but I think I can tell, But yeah, I wish you luck, and I hope that your business succeeds, and I hope that you end up being like one of the main art people across streaming platforms, and that you make $1 bajillion, and that your family and your kids, and if you plan to have kids, that your family and your kids all have all the joy that they deserve in life. All right? I wish you the best of luck. Gosh darn it. So let's talk about the Antichrist.
Got this question a lot in my DMs so many times.
So if you don't know this stream, and if you don't know me, I do occasionally from time to time hide the face cam. It is simply a measure to protect myself against the TOS of YouTube when I take my medication. For the record, it is a cannabis-based medication. So when I go to quote-unquote hit the bong, I've got to turn my face cams off. I have not gone anywhere. I'm still here. Okay, well, I can draw like doodles okay then. I'll admit that. I'll admit I'm good at doodle drawing. All right, Helmet? I hope that's sufficient. I can make a darn good Malton's salt container. Malden's salt container. I can do pretty good on that. And that really just comes from me having to write planograms for grocery stores. Like, and you'd have to like hand draw where things are supposed to go. I mean, you didn't have to, but it was kind of fun to just make up your own products. Yeah. Okay, so maybe I don't take things very seriously, especially not work. But you know what? I'm still a mature old man. All right, I'm going to hit this bowl. If you happen to have them, smoke them, which is just me being fancy and saying smoke them if you got them. All right, cheers. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Well, there is Morton's. That's the, I believe, blue container. And then there's Malden's, which is actually like a fancy finishing salt that you put on like steaks and stuff. It's also like $6 per pound as opposed to the 0.33 cents per pound that Morton's is. Also, Helmet, if you could do me a favor and let me know what the delay is after you say something and then I respond to it, because I tried to do low latency this time, and I'm just not sure. I just saw Pink Himalayan. Himalayan. So how many seconds was that between when you hit send and when I said I see Pink Himalayan? Because I think it was much shorter this time, and I'm hoping I can get it down as instant as possible, because I want to be able to react to chat, you know, in a real time, in as real time a fashion as possible. That's my hope. I stutter a lot when I'm on stream. You know, I would have to order finishing salt. Yeah, it's you know, it's not widely available at places other than specialty markets. So I get where you're coming from. Oh, you know, I think I have it set to normal in the... I think I have it set to normal in the settings, so it's back to normal. Whatever, you know what? That's fine. We'll do it. I'll make sure to remember it next time. I think we're still looking at about 40 seconds in terms of delay. Or longer? It's starting to snow. I don't know if you guys live where it snows, but it's starting to snow here. I don't think it's going to stick, but... but it is snowing. All right, let's move to the actual video. The last message took over 20 seconds to show up on your screen. Hey, that's not bad, though. That's not bad.
So I figured I would address who I believe it is. A lot of people message me saying they know for sure it's Trump. A lot of people message me.
He's not going to think it's Trump.
For sure it's Obama.
He's not going to say it's Trump.
The Antichrist is not going to be a hated person at first. Revelation 30.
Oh, I mean... Just so you guys know, just so anyone on the right knows, Obama was pretty well liked by the Republicans, regardless of whether they thought he should be the president. You know, they didn't necessarily like his policies, but most of the Republicans worked with Obama openly, like they liked working with Obama. It wasn't until like 2015, 2016, when people on the right just started saying they always hated Obama. It wasn't until Trump came onto the scene, you know, with his birthing denial and his whole, like, you know, I'm a normal guy. I'm not a politician, even though he's always been involved in politics. Of course, you wouldn't know it if you didn't know his aliases, one of which being John Barron, which he named his son. He named his son after a pseudonym that he gave himself. That's your president, our president. I'm not the Antichrist, but I do work for Satan, according to my mother-in-law. Who's Satan? Who do you work for? Do you work for like a bad person? Obamacare is nice. You're fucking right it is, especially when the subsidies made my healthcare affordable. Unfortunately, that is no longer the case. My healthcare is extremely unaffordable right now.
13 talks about how the Antichrist will be.
But no, it's not. Well, he'll say
loved and worshipped and followed all across the world. Everyone's gonna love this man at first. Before I get into it, I want you to understand everything that God does, Satan mimics in his own little ways. Just as God sent Jesus to die on the cross for all of our sins, Satan will also send his son, the Antichrist. So no, I do not think that it will be Trump because a lot of people hate that man. I don't think that it will be Obama because a lot of people hate that man. I do.
Now, the justifiable reason I got Medicaid, well, fuck, man, good for you. I don't qualify. My wife makes too much, so our whole household's like disqualified from any of the aid that like the state level can give you. Nah, and she doesn't make a lot. We are, I think, right below the poverty line. Yeah. And the funny thing is, I own my own business. It just doesn't make any money. I work a lot. I just, all of the money goes back into the business. I work, I only work maybe about 30 hours a week, but I still, you know, I work and I do private dinners and stuff, but it's like 100% cost right now. Unfortunately. That $200 was nice. That $200 allowed me to get healthcare, and without it, I will not be able to afford my ADHD medication, which is a thing I am not looking forward to. So hopefully that is, you know, because the Senate was supposed to meet on February 15th to vote on the big beautiful bill, and they sent it back to committee. Or rather, the Dems blocked it, which, you know, friendly fire. Thanks a lot, guys. But the DHS still got funded. I think it's another 10 million or something. 10 million, 10 billion, something like that. The way that I understand it in the Book of Revelation, it doesn't say much about like people loving the Antichrist initially. If you know the Bible, feel free to contradict me on that, because you know, obviously I'm just drawing from my limited memory. But I don't recall it saying anything explicitly like, oh, he's gonna be like loved by everybody before he gets, you know, killed and revealed to be the Antichrist. I don't like voting. Me neither, but it's kind of required. Trenton, who'd you vote for in the last election, if you don't mind my asking? Because I can tell you what happens when you when you don't vote. Exactly what's happening right now is what happens when you don't vote. Or when you vote for the wrong guy. Well, I just can't really do much at all with what's his name? Luvia right now. Oh. I thought that was an enemy. I guess I should have actually looked. You know. You didn't vote for anyone, so then you voted for Trump. Thank you. Abstaining is a relinquishment of your power to decide. And if you don't weigh in on things that are somewhat existential, then you might end up supporting the wrong side, just passively. If you voted for a third party, you basically be voting for Trump. Anyone that is in opposition to what boils down to fascism on its fucking face, anyone that doesn't like oppose that is allowing it to happen. No, I just didn't vote. Right. Do you not remember that poem from Nazi Germany? They came for the socialists and I did nothing because I was not a socialist. Do you not remember that one? It's a bit important. It's pretty important to have your vote known, to have your voice counted among those. We are at, I think, still like a minuscule number of people voting in actual elections. Like, there are 370 people in this country, and every time Republicans win, people are like, oh, you know, the voice of the country spoke. Everyone in the country spoke, and half the country loves President Trump. We are not at 100% voting turnout. If voting was compulsory, progressive views would be the fucking name of the day, all day, every day, all year, every year. If the electoral college did not exist, you would have things. Maybe the most conservative we would ever get would be like center. Like, we would have some social services. They would be overseen by a fairly strict governmental agency, and the alphabet agencies would all be fairly powerful. Your rights would be somewhat restricted, but usually for the better good. You know, but it really is important to vote. You know, even if you think it doesn't matter, it's still important to vote. If you're passive about the situation, you're letting the bad guy win. Oh, I'm enlightened. I don't think that voting matters at all. So I'm going to do the right thing for humanity and just not weigh in. Right? And so then the bad guy just starts tromping all over everyone else because you're doing nothing, because you're not standing with us. Right. And do you not count voting as action? If you're going to do political action, if you're going to go out and protest, if you're going to write your congressman, which I do all of these things, if you're going to go into your civil council and speak during city council meetings, which I would love to record and put on my channel if I thought I would not fuck up. But those are all actions, but voting goes with that. If you are doing all of that, if you're not doing everything that you can do, then you are failing. Doesn't matter, like, if I light something on fire, or if I see a fire and don't put it out, I guess, which is more appropriate in this situation, and I turn around and help an old woman cross the street, I still let a house burn down. I don't get to buy carbon offsets to allow fascism to take over the country. You see what I'm saying? Trenton, you can't just be passive. And I doubt you do any of the things that I mentioned. Of course, protesting, I would say maybe likely protesting, but that's easy. You just go to where the protests are. Have you ever written your congressman a thoughtful, respectful letter that detailed the things that you want to see change and how you see change coming, because they won't listen to you unless you actually provide a solution? Have you gone into your city council meetings and stood up and spoke about the things that you care about? Or do you just sit there sipping your fucking Coors Light, Pabst Blue Ribbon, and Keystone, and go like, I'm really smart because I'm not going to play their games. I'm not going to play their games. I'm not going to let them goad me into engaging in some type of culture or political war. No, sir. It's a stogie. It's a stogie. I light a stogie. This is you. I'm you. I'm lighting a stogie. Don't tread on me, motherfuckers. Taxation is theft. And yet, I'm out there at the ice facility, allegedly. So you're right. Action is what matters, and voting is an action. So yeah, let's see. Only about half the country is even registered to vote. And let's see, 96.3% of registered voters, so about half the country. And, I mean, you guys are all there, you know, you're all there, you're all old enough to know where on the channels where they cover the elections, where they talk about all the numbers, it always seems like the votes kind of skew to blue, and then because of gerrymandering and then the electoral college, they usually then swing to the right. Isn't that weird how that tends to happen? You know, sometimes it's almost weird. It's almost like there's like huge PACs that supply money to these whole political outfits. Almost, it's crazy, right? It's almost like billionaires and millionaires influence elections. I'm just going to ride this one out. Okay. Then I guess maybe you don't really have the right to be speaking or complaining about anything that happens then. I hope you just are content to live with whatever reality we end up in.
You, however, believe the Antichrist will be this man right here, Mr. Beast. Awesome.
What the fuck? Oh my god. Oh, I did not expect him to say that. Oh no, lordy. Oh my god. Oh my god. He just said Mr. Beast is the Antichrist. This man truly just said Mr. Beast is the Antichrist. is the real living Antichrist. What on earth? What on earth?
The Bible refers to
Trenton, do you want the good side to win? Do you want fascism in the country, or will you just be fine with it?
the Antichrist as the beast. He is literally the biggest social media influencer of all time. The whole entire world pretty much knows who this man is. Out of all the
Okay. I don't know about that. I didn't know who he was until like 5 years ago.
this man's main YouTube channels, he has over 450 million subscribers. It doesn't even include all of these other subscribers I'm fixing to show you.
You know,
He has channels for people
I'm willing
in
to
Mexico
believe it.
that speak Spanish.
I'm willing to believe
He has
it.
channels for all of these different countries.
You know?
Here's his channel for people in Brazil. Keep in mind,
He is
I did
pretty
not
evil.
add any of these subscribers
He
up.
is pretty
Remember, the
evil.
whole world will
I hear
love
he
this
exploits
man
his
at
employees.
first. Here's him in Africa building over 100 wells for these people. Very nice and generous of him, right? Here's him giving over 100 houses away. Very, very generous of this.
I'm just chilling. They got enough. Who has enough? And you're just chilling. What happens when they come for you? What happens when you're asked to see your papers and you can't provide them? You're then locked in a concentration camp and nobody you love or know will ever know where you are. And you'll never be able to furnish your papers because you forgot them one day. And now you're just going to die in a camp. What happens then? Will you regret not voting? If you knew that your vote could have changed it? You're taking a real stupid stance here, my friend.
Man, right?
Real
Keep in
stupid
mind, the
stance.
whole world is
Just a very
loving and
immature,
praising this man for all
very
the
stupid
great,
stance.
generous
Very,
things he's doing.
I haven't
Let's
lived
dig deeper
sort of
because it's about
stance.
to get very
You know,
interesting.
I've never
Isn't it
actually
funny
lived
that
a
he
life
said he would run for
type of
president
stance.
And everybody is behind him, backing him, saying,
And
hey,
maybe that's true. Maybe you just live in suburbia and you just got a really good job out of high school and you just never really did anything. You never traveled. You never went anywhere. You never accomplished anything. You just had the same job. You did fine. You're doing fine now and nothing ever affects you. So sure. But yeah, I mean, no, you wouldn't. You wouldn't be chilling. Not if there was torture. Not if you were starved. No, you wouldn't. You can't. Nobody can actually say that. Nobody can say that they would just be fine with it. Because no human likes to be in captivity, right? No one. 0 people. No human wants to just be carted off somewhere and told that they no longer have any rights or freedoms. Like, you're straight up lying saying that.
hey, man, we would support you. You're so great. We love you. Let's take a look at Revelation 13:2. It says, and the beast I saw was like a leopard, and his feet were like a bear's, and his mouth was like a lion's mouth. And to it the dragon gave his power and his throne and great
Crazy!
Satan gives him his power. Remember,
I just
the
wanted to
head
see
of
what
a
that would do. I haven't
leopard
tried
and
that
the
before.
mouth of a lion. The name Mr. Beast alone should be
Yes, it would be chill. No, it wouldn't.
a major red flag.
I don't
The
believe
Bible
you for
describes
any
the
amount of
Antichrist
time.
as the
Not for a
beast.
second.
Keep in mind, this dude could have picked any name.
Not at
anything,
all.
But he calls himself Mr. Beast. Now here's a part that's really
And
about
you can
to make
you can claim up and
saturate.
down that you would just be
Remember
fine
when
with
I
it,
said
but
in
you
the
wouldn't.
very beginning that God sent his
And if
son
you think you
Jesus
would,
to
I know
die
better
on
than
the
you.
cross for our sins.
About
We
you.
are his children. Those that
I know better than you
believe in
about
me
yourself.
will not perish.
Which
All
is
you
really
have to
sad.
do
You
is
should really know
believe in
yourself.
him if you
See, I
want
say I
eternal
have
life.
tattooed on
Jesus
myself where it says,
Well, Satan
know
will send his
thyself.
son,
You can't see it very well,
Antichrist,
but
and the
it says know
Antichrist, the
thyself.
Bible says,
And it's really
will
important that you know
force
yourself.
all great,
Because
free,
you're
small, rich,
either just
powerful,
trolling
doesn't matter who you are,
or
you will all be
you know,
forced
just
to
not being
receive
serious,
a
but
mark
you
on
would
your
care.
right hand
Everyone would
or
care.
your forehead. And those that do not
Every single
get it
person on
will
the
be
entire
persecuted.
earth would care.
When you accept this mark, you become part of Satan's. There is no going back. Your eternity is sealed. And if you don't get this mark, you get persecuted. When you take this mark, you literally become a child of Satan's.
Oh my god. Now that is a really good conspiracy theory. I didn't think that we were gonna have anything close to that today. I didn't think that it was gonna get that out there that quickly, but I mean, yeah, more power to you. I mean, Mr. Conspiracy Theorist. No, it would be like vacation. Okay, so now it's clear you're trolling.
There are people living inside of the earth.
No, there are not.
It's true.
No, it is not.
New information from NASA states that there is a large ocean beneath the Earth's crust.
And that somehow means...
After scientists detected movement below the surface.
That doesn't mean anything. That just means that there's an ocean under the surface.
Around 500 miles below, a large supply of water has been found stored in a rock named ringwoodite.
Come on.
But it gets even crazier. Scientists
No, it doesn't.
say that this rock is so huge that it contains 3 times the amount of water on the Earth's surface.
I'm gonna say no.
This causes many to believe that there is more down there than we originally
Many regular people, TikTokers, many TikTokers. It's caused many TikTokers to believe.
thought. Possibly even civilizations.
Says who?
While the news of this discovery was over 10
Why does that look like Archer? Why is that AI slop like Archer coded?
years ago, it was never talked about. Is the government hiding this information from us? What do you think?
No. So this one doesn't actually have any voice to it. It just says, I assume ideas for some movies come from real life. Now we know. I don't. Oh, Jesus. It's like child sacrifice. They're talking about the Epstein files. Just to put a little spoiler out there, I have a very hard time believing that they actually sacrificed anyone's children. It doesn't surprise me that they would say crazy shit and that they would maybe even have the intention of doing crazy shit, but I have a hard time believing that somebody delivered a baby to somebody that they then ate. I just don't think even logistically that it's like a thing that people would that so many people would allow happen along the chain of the people that, like the chain of custody, the people that know what's going on. You should start a conspiracy that aquatic apes live down there in the underground water. I think theories like that are already happening. People think that shit's straight up Talakon or some shit. Give all of your mana to a unit in range 3. Spend all of your mana and heal. A heal would be nice. Deal fire damage. Yeah, I don't want any of these other ones. I'll take the heal. Hell yeah!
Do anybody recognize this mask? If you said, yeah, this is the mask from Black Phone, you would be right. But do y'all remember the story of Black Phone, the first one, right?
They do it in a lot of cultures. Still? Because no.
Right? To my understanding, he would kidnap children in the neighborhood. He would bring them to his basement, and he would basically, like, I don't know if it was any type of sexual
flowers
orientation going on, but he would definitely, like, abuse them and torture them, basically, and they would end up being unalived. In the recent climate with all of the e-files, I'm starting to realize, or I'm really starting to think that the movies or the entertainment that they give us is not just made up stories. These are real stories.
Yes, it is. Christ's sake. Punctured eye. Oh, he got actual injury. God damn it. Damn it. Yeah, I guess that's fine. I don't have a self-heal for my paladin character. Cleric, I guess. First of all, Hollywood movies are like the Bible. Someone writes a story, and it's a good story, and maybe it's based on some true events, or maybe it's based on, you know, just what they think is going to be fun for people to hear. But then it goes through a bunch of different edits from a bunch of different people, most of whom usually don't even really care about what's in the book in the first place. They just want to put what they want into the book. So it's like a compilation. It's like a manuscript. It's like the Bible. People just get together and they edit something down all the way, add their shit to it, mix it all up, and what you end up with is the studio picture. And it often never looks exactly like what it looked like when the writer wrote it, just because of all the different voices that go into creating something like that. So saying that the Black Phone has, you know, PDF file overtones to the mask that the guy wears, okay, sure, maybe some random guy in the writing room had some knowledge of some Epstein-related stuff and then added that to his portion of the notes that he added. Perhaps, sure. Totally plausible. But it's not like creators of movies are going to be completely making their script or production details adhere 100% to what they want or to what they think is going to happen. A lot of directors, a lot of writer directors, a lot of people who have their hands in all the different pies along a movie's production, they understand that studios are going to change it. They understand that if somebody's giving you most of the money for your picture, that they're going to have a say. And so you have to decide where you're going to make concessions, where you're going to... But either way, it's not going to be exactly what you wrote. It's not going to be exactly what you envisioned. So while sure, it may be an understandable thing for an average person to believe that, oh, the maker of Black Phone totally added this mask in as a reference to the E-files, which you're allowed to say Epstein. I swear to God, the thing that annoys me the most about content creators on the internet is that they unnecessarily censor themselves. If you can hear it on YouTube, you can fucking say it on YouTube. Most of the time without getting demonetized. As long as you're within TOS, it's totally fine. And that's usually like hate speech, giving graphic details about things, not saying fuck, not saying cock or jizz if you're referencing something, but like none of that stuff will instantly get you banned or demonetized. You have to be pretty overt, and you have to be pretty like intentional in order to have that happen, or use copyrighted material. But if any of you happening to swipe by this and hearing what I'm saying right now, not good grammar, but just, you know, don't do that. Don't do what you see those guys doing, bleeping stuff like, you know, what like they bleep cuss words, they bleep words like murder and like suicide. And I get that because suicide is triggering for some people. I understand that. But like, it's just weird, like how much latent self-censorship there is. That's totally unnecessary. It is a little bit of a pet peeve of mine. So I'm sorry about going off on a tangent.
Or is just put in a different way to where it's digestible.
Hey XVW, what's up?
Because to me, this mask, this face looks a whole lot like this person. This is Jeffrey Epstein. And you cannot tell me.
No, that's a Photoshop picture of Jeffrey Epstein. That's She fucking brought the sides up like a Joker's smile. What the fuck? Oh my god.
Their actions resemble his real life. Kidnapping children, taking them somewhere where they'll never be seen again. That's
okay. Now, of course, he exploited and trafficked children. He was a PDF file. He did all sorts of monstrous things. He probably is burning in hell if you're a Christian. What you talking about? I'm just reacting to conspiracy theory TikToks while playing Mugenics. And if you can't see the videos, that's your cue to click on the link to go to Twitch if you want to see it in full screen. Bow, bow, bow. Yeah. And if you don't want to, that's fine too. You can just listen to them. It's still, I'm not going to do anything that's just, you know, solely you have to see it stuff. So if you didn't know it, the cats actually meow along with the song sometimes. It's very cute. See, you hear that? Very cute. Very cute.
This is the single most insane conspiracy theory out there right now.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready.
Person anonymously
Another one! God damn it!
That he witnessed weird happenings at the...
Twitch is for weaklings. Well, yeah, but that's the only way that I'm getting paid for anything right now. And I don't even have, like, ads running at where they could be. Because I have like 2 people that watch me on there. So, but if we get to 20 subscriptions, if the life of the channel ever gets there, we'll do a karaoke stream. And so I'm really trying to force that. I'm really trying to get that to happen, because I would love to do a karaoke stream. I think it'd be really fun, but I would love also for that to be an incentive, you know? I may have to leave suddenly. I'm waiting on a phone call. That's fine, Helmet. Saul, get in the hit.
Prison. He claims that Epstein was smuggled out the night before
come
his death
on.
was reported. He witnessed an unauthorized van arriving at the same time that Epstein was escorted out, shackled to a wheelchair. The day after Epstein's death was reported, the U.S. Attorney General subpoenaed...
Yeah, but there's an autopsy report, and they were able to positively identify the body. So you're forgetting that, and it's very hard to fake an autopsy report when it's such a high-profile case. Like, you have any idea how many eyes had to have been involved when they were, you know, removing the body, bringing it to the foreigner, bringing it to the foreigner? You know, the guy who looks at travel logs and arranges for vacations for people. They had to bring him to the foreigner. And then they brought him to the coroner. And the medical examiner probably checked him out and all that kind of shit. But there were so many people involved. It's, again, conspiracy theory, right? But there's just no way. There's no way that you can just swap those out, and positively identify the person. He wasn't like burned up or anything, or like it melted with acid, or his teeth weren't taken out. None of that stuff. That's it. You know, conspiracy falls flat on its face before it even gets up.
I hope everybody knows by now that the fallen angels run our world.
There you go.
Earth
Fallen
is
angels.
Satan's
I love that.
domain,
Yep.
And his fallen angels are at the top of the pyramid, if you will. Now, the book of Enoch, chapter 6, tells us that...
For the record, the book of Enoch, there's no proof that it actually existed, or that even if it did exist, that it was a book of the Bible, that it was meant to go in the Bible. Jesus Christ.
There were 200 of the leaders of these fallen angels. They met on Mount Hermon and they signed...
So, first, I'm going to introduce a book that doesn't exist, and then I'm just going to make up a bunch of shit, because you have no way to verify that that book exists, so I'm just going to say whatever the fuck I want. And I'm going to talk about angels, I'm going to talk about Atlantis, I'm going to talk about Lemuria, I'm going to talk about fucking, what's that other one? What's the lost continent? It's not Lemuria, it is Io. Can't remember. But yeah, I'm just going to make all that shit up, and then I'm going to put it in a video on TikTok. And I'm going to highlight some words on my green screen effect. There you go. And some AI fucking enjoy.
An agreement. At the very top of Mount Hermon, there's a building that says UN on the roof, but that's not for this video. Today we're
What the fuck? Oh, Jews run the world, guys. I don't know if you knew that. I know that it sounded unrelated what I said in reply to her just now, but that's where she was going. The whole UN thing, the whole if they were going to talk about NATO, if she was going to talk about like the Rothschilds or any of that shit, like, you know where she's headed. You know where she's going. Christ.
Palace of Peace and
On a cracker.
Reconciliation. This is located in Kazakhstan, and it is to represent
all
religious faiths. Now, this is a beautifully constructed
I just killed
building,
myself.
And it's
I just killed my
point of
own
what
character.
looks to be a phoenix. Here's an aerial view. Everything in this city is futuristic. It's all kind of like symbolic looking. Across from it is the presidential palace, and there's more kind of like symbolic stuff. I can't say what that looks like, but it's all very futuristic.
Can't say what looks like.
From it is the presidential palace, and there's more kind of like symbolic stuff. I can't say what that looks like, but it's all...
Oh no, it's like you don't know. It's not that you feel like you can't say, it's that you don't know. Okay, I get it. It's fine.
Very futuristic. What's interesting is at the very top of the Palace of Peace and
no, I knew that one.
Is a
I've heard that one.
That has, guess how many seats? 200 seats. Could this be where the leaders of our world meet? Here's the inside of it.
No! Where is this supposed to be?
The world's religious faiths. Now, this is a beautifully constructed building. about the Palace of Peace and Reconciliation. This is located and they signed an agreement. At the very top of Mount Herman, there's a building that says UN on the roof, but that...
Right now? These days? We'll look this shit up. Satellite. Engage. Satellite. Engage. All right. What am I looking at? At the top of Mount Herman. What is it? What?
That's not for this video. Today we're going to talk about the Palace of Peace and Reconciliation.
Palace of Palace of Peace and Reconciliation. Okay, give me satellite. Can't I just see the... Can't I just see the... Oh, here it is. Oh, so where in relation to where I was looking is this? Kazakhstan? Why would the world's leaders meet in Kazakhstan? Okay, so first of all, listen, it's just because a place is beautifully detailed and beautifully architectured and beautifully landscaped doesn't fucking mean it's a temple to all the world's religions or faiths or nations. That's fucking weird.
This is located in Kazakhstan, and it is to represent all of the world's religious faiths. Now, this is a beautifully constructed building, and it's at the point of what looks to be
I mean,
Phoenix.
Of course, if it was supposed to be representative of all the world's faiths, I don't know if that's actually true or just what she's saying, but even if that's true, if I'm taking that at face value, of course it would have a lot of weird fucking symbols and like sigils and shit. Of course it would do that. Of course! It just makes sense. What are religions, if not ritualistic in nature? Full of symboladry. And where's this Phoenix thing you're talking about?
As an aerial view, everything in this city is futuristic. It's all...
Everything? Where's the Phoenix she's looking at? Is that it? Oh, like this. I mean, it really doesn't look like a phoenix. I'm just saying, I mean, call me out on that, but it doesn't look like
symbolic
phoenix.
Looking. Across from it is the presidential palace, and there's more kind of like...
So across from here? Let me see. Let me see the street view. Let me get the street view on this motherfucker. Wait, what? I'm at a point of interest? Hello? I can't move it around? Come on. What? Go back to... Where can I... Where's the... Oh, here we go. Just put me on this street here. There we go. Okay. Okay, now that looks fucking badass. Which of these is the... That's cool, too. Fuck. That's the presidential palace? Can't go further in there. It's really cool, though. I really like how it looks. And can I go... I want to go in here. I want to go in here. Go in here. I want to go in here. Let me go in there. I want to go in there. You have to pay $2 to get in there? What the fuck? Oh, here we go. Look at that. Oh, that's so cool. I mean, let's be honest. That doesn't look that futuristic. It looks cool. But I mean, is this ancient thing? Is that futuristic? This ancient building behind it? Is that futuristic? All these high-rises? Those don't look very futuristic. They look about like 90s. Ah. I mean, comparatively, the presidential palace looks... It's so cool that it's built into a mountain or something, like into a hill. That's so fucking cool, man. I love that. And this whole like that's so cool. That's so cool. Goddamn. It's a shame she's shitting on it.
Looks like, but it's all very futuristic. What's interesting is at the very top of the Palace of Peace and Reconciliation is a boardroom that has, guess how many seats? 200 seats. Could this be where the leaders of our world meet? Here's the inside of it. It is really odd to me if you really sit back and think about
flowers.
You know, the fact that Satan does run our world and it's real that follows.
Just real quick, has a blue dome. Oh, okay. Well then, yeah, then I don't know what I was looking at. It's so funny that she's like, we do know that Satan runs our world. You know, we know that. I mean, it's clear. I mean, you know, you and I both know that Satan just runs our world. I mean, come on. You don't got to be ignorant to that, all right? No, sir. Sorry, I'm just making sure that everything's functional on Twitch. Yes, good. Okay, just making sure. Just making sure. I haven't heard anyone or seen anyone chatting in a bit over there. So I just wanted to be entirely certain. Who are we playing as right now? Playing as Mr. Cleric. This cat doesn't exactly have the best skills right now. I like a teleport. It's crystal clear that Satan runs this literal planet of apes. Gotcha, yeah. You know?
Angels run our world. I mean, it is a real thing that demons take physical form and rule our world, and to be looking at, you know, a place where they might all sit and meet, it is kind of creepy.
So let me just make up this thing, and now I'm going to get scared of it. I'm going to make up a thing, and then I'm going to be scared of it. Whoa, it's creepy. Whoa. Whoa. Ooh. Jesus. Jesus H. Christ. What? Attack. Attack. Mana. Attack. I would love to have a word with the god character for putting Satan in charge in the first place. For real. What were you thinking?
The release of the Epstein files has opened up this crazy world where multiple conspiracy theories can be true. If you've seen some of my previous videos, you know that I'm doing a breakdown on all of the files involving Trump. 4,727 files.
Oh, the flowers are poisonous?
Breaking down every single one of them. Because if there's incriminating shit, you better believe that a pregnant lady with an obsessive personality is going to find it. Anyway, I was going through it, and I came across a really interesting email from Terz Rod to Jeffrey Epstein. The subject is, Trump says, I'm reopening 9/11 investigation. Reopening 9/11 investigations, huh? Now, why would we do that? It was clearly Al-Qaeda, right? Like, it was clearly Al-Qaeda, right? Right? Wrong! Let's break it down. Let's talk about Lucky Larry Silverstein. So, 6 weeks before 9/11,
what the fuck?
Larry signs a 99-year lease on the entire World Trade Center.
Who creates the ultimate bad guy and then locks him in his house with his kids? For real, dude.
Whole complex for $3.2 billion. The towers at this time were bleeding money. They were going through lawsuits. Port Authority was like desperate to get rid of them. And Larry could not wait to lock that shit in. Now, during the signing of the deal, purchases the single largest real estate insurance contract ever written. $3.55 billion
You know, I probably could have just
now here's where it gets weird.
done that right
it
here.
It explicitly covered terrorist attacks.
Yeah, it's fine.
Not just like acts of God or like, you know, random fire or even like loitering or looting or whatever. No, like terrorism. He fights with the insurance company after 9/11 for a double payout claim.
How do we know any of this is true? Like, how can we believe anything that this person is saying? We cannot substantiate any of it. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like, you know, if maybe bring receipts?
That it was two planes, so
maybe I'm strange. Maybe I'm weird.
So it would have been a $7.1 billion payout. The insurance company says, you know, no, it was one event, whatever. So while this entire thing is going on, the World Trade Center and everything is like being rebuilt with taxpayer dollars. So he's just like becoming stupid wealthy. But what I find really interesting is that he argued that it was two separate occurrences because he argued that there was two separate planes, but there was only one plane. Well, there was
no, who believes that? Oh my God. Only someone born after 9/11 would think that. Oh my God. I was there. I was watching it in my fucking classroom, and I watched both planes hit. Oh man. So many people died in that attack, and people have spent hours just dishonoring those people's memories by expressing all these bullshit conspiracy theories.
No planes, but there was only one plane. Why do I say that there were no planes, but there was really one plane, but there was really no planes? Because on video...
What? This person thinks there were no planes.
The footage, it shows one plane. Like, we can clearly see that.
So the broadcast was hours long on every major news station, on every major affiliate network, and it was uninterrupted, very clear, good views, good angles, two planes slamming into the buildings.
One plane, you know, just fully crashes, just straight into the building, right?
Or wait, sorry, a lot of the news at the time didn't have the footage of the first plane, but because they got it when the Trade Center was actually still smoking. Not still smoking. Smoking. Thank you, health. And... Oh, I could have moved into tact, too. I'm stupid. But later on, I mean... bunches and bunches and bunches of videos flooded in. Even Reddit, you know, had video... You know, like right when it became a thing, it had video of the first plane hitting the trade centers. Trade centers.
That's weird. Where the hell are the plane parts? You're gonna sit here and tell me that supposedly...
Oh my God. Have you ever seen a plane crash? Or heard about Flight 500? No, because you're too young. See what this is... the people are trying to rewrite or erase history entirely. And this is the product of that. Even the helicopter crash over the Potomac was too fucking disintegrated. Fuselage is not... You could probably... I don't know. I don't think it's thin enough to, like, puncture with a knife, but... Fuselage is not strong. It does not hold up to a lot of abuse. Why do you think birds stay afloat? Because their fucking bones are hollow. Why do you think airplanes stay afloat? Because of both propulsion and the fact that they're aero-fucking-dynamic. They have, like, 200 people on them. Don't you think that might weigh it down a little bit? So the materials that it's made out of have to be space-age, they have to be thin, they have to be light, and they have to be flimsy. You are in, essentially, an aluminum tube that could crumple at any moment. Planes are not strong. They do not last when they fly into a building.
5.7 just, like, vaporized into a 16-foot hole. No wings, no engine, no tail section.
Yes.
Hard metal steel.
Yes.
Burned to a crisp.
Yes.
In the collapse and in the crash. But somehow,
and then the building fell down. And then a building fell down on it. 3 of the floors got so hot that they fused together. Just saying.
Hijackers' passports were found in perfect condition just 2 blocks away from the crash site.
Do you honestly not think that they had a staging area? Like where they did some of the research and actually like went and did some of these things, like actually like went to like how people in Pearl Harbor. See, again, you don't fucking know history, you child. When the Japanese were scoping out Pearl Harbor, you can see this in the movie Pearl Harbor. They sent spies. They sent spies over who would have American credentials. They would look American. They would have American clothes on, and they would then go and take pictures of all the different ships and where they were located, where they were berthed, where they were docked, whatever the fuck. Then they would like take pictures of the airfields, just going on tours, acting like, you know, interested citizens. And they were like, you know, doing research for the, you know, the Japanese government. Same thing happened in this case. And I think there's some degree of racism that plays into that because, oh man, that felt good. Because the average person, probably the average racist, I guess, doesn't think that Middle Easterners are smart enough or technologically advanced enough to do espionage. You know, I feel like that's probably where some of that comes from. And I don't think that's very respectable. I think that you should probably, you know, it's not like they're savages. Just because there's a lot of like hiding in caves, that's strategically smart, actually. So, and that comes from just years of living as nomadic people. That's not uncivilized. That's simply nomadic. They didn't have civilization for as long as we did, or as long as the Western world did, or at least didn't let it run their lives as long as the Western world did. And that's why you see a lot of American influence in a lot of Middle Eastern countries, because thanks to our colonialism and imperialist, expansionist, whatever the fuck we are, we just had to get in there and introduce them to American culture, you know? We just had to permeate every country with our bullshit, and then they also get our drama as well. If you aren't familiar with, you know, there's a lot of conflict in the Middle East at the moment. I don't know if you were aware.
Ready to be handed over to a reporter. Weird. Yes, because jet fuel can't, you know, melt steel beams, but it can perfectly preserve paper passports from the 1990s.
Thinking that they didn't have a staging area where they might have like copies of fake passports, perhaps. It's weird to I'm just flabbergasted that you wouldn't just come to that conclusion having known all the stuff that happened in our history, you know, like spies and espionage and things like that happening. Jet fuel, when coupled with other sources of fucking fire, the accumulated heat can absolutely melt steel beams. And even if it didn't, you still have a plane that flew into a building and rendered it not able to stand.
Because keep in mind that this was in 2001, so those passports were probably made in like the late 1990s, if they were even real passports.
No shit, they were fake!
Which they weren't. I don't
know.
No
shit!
I actually have a personal connection to 9/11 because guess who was deployed right to Iraq right after 9/11 happened? My sweet dear papa. 2 tours in Iraq. Love the man. Seen a lot of shit. But what's funny is that he was in a unit with some of his, you know, buddies.
Oh, more word of mouth proof. Okay, go on.
Who had spent a lot of time around missiles. And 2 of them just happened to be in New York the day of 9/11. This is a true story. I'm like not even bullshitting. And you know what they swear up and down that
the rapid, almost panicked qualifier certainly makes me believe you. Fucking hilarious. This is totally true, guys. Totally true.
They heard missiles. They swear up and down.
Oh my fucking god. Young lady, I was there. Not there. I wasn't at the towers. I was watching as it happened. Again, no reasonable person, unless you don't know anything about history, would ever say that it was a missile that struck the fucking building.
Right before the crash. Now, how do we explain the plane on video? Okay, well, this is the part where people, you know, I lose a lot of people.
It would honestly make more sense to say that someone shot missiles at the plane and caused them to crash into the building. That would make more sense.
I made a video how there is a file in the Epstein file that talks about AI, talks about the supercomputer Deep Blue, whatever, and how they had this type of technology in like the 1950s, and it's only just now being released to us. So they had this technology in the 1950s. 2001 happened 51 years post 1950s, right? In 50 years, what kind of technology do you think that they would have been able to develop that we, you know, as the public do not have access to? Is there any possibility that they might have had access to advanced hologram technology? Maybe. All I'm saying is,
what
kind of technology? The video how there is a file.
Advanced hologram technology. All right. So obviously there are things that we don't necessarily know that we've developed because of its military and strategic importance. But it's also very hard to hide a lot of the bound for consumer side things because they're typically in like you know, technological journals, and it's hard to hide a lot of that stuff. Even then, I don't know that that substantiates any of the stuff that you've said.
Telling us that it was a control.
I mean, wouldn't it make sense that if a missile uses whatever jet propulsion and a plane uses jet propulsion, wouldn't they sound very fucking similar? And if you didn't know what you were listening to and you had a history of being in active duty in the battlefield at a time of war, not necessarily hearing planes a lot, but hearing missiles a lot, don't you think that maybe when you're in your apartment in New York and you hear a plane dangerously low to the ground, dangerously close, much more close and low to the ground than it normally is, followed by an explosion, don't you think maybe you might associate those two sounds together, perhaps?
Demolition of two buildings.
Controlled
They
demolition
perfectly collapsed on themselves.
is what she's saying.
They didn't
Perfectly
tip
collapsed.
over.
Yeah. Buildings in cities need to exist next to each other. So what people who design these buildings do is they think about these scenarios where what should happen if the building were to fall? How should we design it so that we can make sure that if it was to fall, it can fall in such a way that it doesn't harm any of the other buildings around it? That's what a controlled demolition is from the outside, from the back end of the life of a building. But in the modern age, and that is like from 30s on, in the modern age, we had to design things around existing large structures. And so those things could not be designed in a way that would allow them to damage those structures if they were to fall. Certain people in certain industries have to think about those worst case scenarios in order for any of the other shit to get approved. Okay? So the perfect demolition of the World Trade Center buildings is simply a product of the way that they were designed. They were designed not to harm any of the buildings around them should the worst happen. Again, this is stuff that you would learn in school. Okay, maybe you wouldn't learn about OSHA in school, but shut up!
The video. What I'm saying, guys, is a lot of people made a lot of money. Like, a lot of money. Wealth isn't created during the...
People get rich for all sorts of fucked up reasons, and sure, there definitely could be a link drawn between, like, I don't know, like, you know, private funding and arms manufacturers and stuff like that. And yeah, there's, like, absolutely governments that are guilty, I would say, of, you know, being a part of the problem and not a part of the solution, or benefiting from conflict on both sides And, you know, I don't think that that's so weird to say, but I also don't think that, yeah, fuck yeah, get it, bitch. I don't think it's fair to say that none of the 2001 stuff happened at all, simply because a different conspiracy exists. It's like, yeah, someone definitely profited off of the death of so many people. But again, I you know, damn, dude, your health is way low. Fuck, we gotta win this thing. Yeah, I don't know. I think sort of dismissal, I guess, of the suffering that people had to endure. Just for the sake of you being able to say that, like, it was made up is kind of shitty. You know, that kind of sucks. I need you to give that guy some loving. There you go, cool. You now have 40 health. On to the next one. We need actual people talking.
How and why is this a thing? The CIA released a brain code that cures pain. All you have
All right. Let's listen.
to do is repeat the number in your mind, 55515, and it will work. And since this document has been released, so many people have come forward.
Oh no. Oh no. No. You poor person. I feel so bad for you. There is no such thing as a brain code that relieves pain. There is such a thing as a placebo effect. There is such a thing as, you know, mind over matter. Like, you can convince yourself of a lot of things that, you know, hypochondriacs convince themselves to be sick constantly. That's not, I mean, that's really all it is. Run next to an ally with the most missing health. Trample it all in the way. Heal an adjacent unit. Allies move toward the nearest enemy. I like this one. That's fun. Sounds like fun.
And say that this actually does work. Now, obviously,
oh, I don't know why I didn't go down the hard path.
Extreme pain. But, like, for example, my cat scratched me earlier today, and I was thinking it in my brain.
Oh my god. For example, my cat scratched me earlier today.
And it worked. They also released to remember, if you're trying to, like, remember a part of your life experience, you can close your eyes and touch softly with the fingers of your right hand to the center of your forehead. And when you do this, you will recall and remember immediately what you were trying to remember.
Seriously? So, my god. Stopping for a moment and thinking allows you to process information in a different way than you would if you were on the go and you were trying to think on the fly. Centering yourself is what a lot of people would say when they describe something like that. You're focusing, you're hyperfixating or hyperfocusing, you're, you know, whatever. The point being that when you stop and you think about something, or when you stop and you release the other thoughts that are going through your head, then whatever it is in your subconscious can be brought to the forefront of your mind. And if that sounds familiar to any of you who have been to this stream before, that's what I describe tarot as. Tarot is the same exact thing. It is just a tool that you look at something and you associate focus with something, and you then center yourself, and you're able to bring up the thoughts that are more prioritized in your brain, which is the thing that you're trying to remember or whatever. It's not some code. There is not a brain code. This person says that they were able to let go of the pain from getting scratched by their cat earlier that day. So I don't know if any of you have cats. It's cool that we're playing. It's very thematic. But I don't know if any of you have cats, but if you've ever been scratched by your cats, does the pain last all day? Does it last even more than 5 minutes? Come on. Especially if you're like going to work and then you like forget about it. It really doesn't bother you. And so like there's no even forgetting about it actually by distracting yourself with this weird fucking thing is probably how you lose the sensation of pain in the first place. God damn.
We also have a code for reducing emotional charge. Close
Sure,
your eyes,
of course.
inhale deeply, hold your breath for a
Sure.
moment, and then think of the calming, cleansing color green. When you do this, exhale slowly, and the green energy will push all the excess harmful emotional charges down through your
my
physical
God.
system and out through the soles of your feet.
What the fuck? What are you talking about? What on earth does that mean? Hey, XVW, again? Why? I don't understand. Why do you believe this? So people that just look at a Facebook post and like just a picture of a document that anybody could have created, and you're like, wow, okay. It sounds like the CIA discovered a brain code that can help me with emotional stress and pain. Very similar to crystals, right? Jesus!
This daily tools document is really interesting. I really recommend taking a look at it. It's one of the more interesting documents that I feel like everybody can appreciate. It's not just like boring government stuff. Come over here for longer freaky videos. How and why is this a thing?
Okay, so I'm guessing that there's a reason why she said longer freaky videos. Turn the lights out, get under the covers, and tune in for some spooks. I'm a horror/conspiracy nerd and true crime freak. You know that's not why she says freaky. I don't know. I feel like that's a marketing tactic. I feel like a girl saying freaky gets the gooners going. You know? I don't know.
Alright guys, so this is probably the 4th time I'm making this video.
Oh my god! The mandala effect. Can't we just call the opposite of the mandala effect cultural complacency? I would love for that to be the term that we use.
Because TikTok
I noticed some cultural complacency
so
where we thought something was one thing and then it turned out to be another very similar thing.
My safe here and show you a couple Mandela effects that have been
Oh, so now we're treating it as if it's just a thing that regularly occurs. Okay. Sure. We'll bear with you here.
Gonna come out and show them to
By the way, if you're on YouTube and you want to see the videos that I'm reacting to, click on that link to go to Twitch and give me a follow over there while you're at it.
world. So look at what I got here. Oh, hold on.
Oh, so what you're doing? You're saying that you forgot what's in your safe, or you forgot your code to your safe? Okay. What is that? A pair of jeans? Is that your... Ladies and gentlemen, I think he keeps his jizz rag in his safe. I know that sounds gross, and I know that that's hard to think about, but why else would it be in there? Who would hide a rag? Is that a shirt? What are the stains? I don't doubt that he throws it in the wash. But why would you hide a garment of clothing in a safe with a bunch of stains on it? I mean, are those sweatpants?
Hold on.
I mean, this is way more interesting than whatever conspiracy theory is going on. Okay, they moved like sweatpants, right? This is totally bait. This is totally like clickbait, comment bait, engagement bait. There's no way. There's no way that someone just casually removes their fucking semen-stained clothes from a safe to show you some Mandela effect or whatever. I just don't buy it. I just don't.
So I got the Berenstein Bears, not Berenstain Bears. Berenstein. It's an actual book.
Okay.
I also have the Shazam VHS.
There was a Shazam. People think that Kazam was a thing with Shaquille O'Neal as the. Or no, was it Shaquille O'Neal? One of them was true. So it was Shaquille O'Neal was Shazam, and then people thought it was Sinbad as Kazam. I don't remember the details exactly, but I'm still wondering why he hasn't explained his white stained sweatpants.
And last but not least, it's paint, by the way. It's not.
He knew. He knew what people were thinking.
What you guys are all talking shit before.
So this isn't the first time he's revealed his jerk-off pants?
Hold on, let me find the tag on these. If you guys can see the cornucopia. See the cornucopia on the Fruit of the Loom tag?
Oh, so something that's like out of focus and reflecting the light, and something that you could have easily just drawn on with like some colored pens or some shit. Sure, I see that. I see it.
So Fruit of the Loom denies ever having a cornucopia on their sweatpants.
Who cares? They could be lying.
Yeah, so Fruit of the Loom denies ever having a cornucopia on their sweatpants.
Who cares? They could be lying.
The Berenstein Bears are saying it's always been the Berenstein Bears.
Right, you could have easily just taken a blue piece of paper and any kind of like printing material, or you could have just reprinted a part of it or anything. Like you really, a lot of things you could have done to alter that. You didn't go through all of the pages. Watch, let me see.
Berenstein Bears, not Berenstain Bears.
No, open it up. Open it up.
Berenstein.
No. Open it up.
It's an actual book.
Okay, let me see.
I also have the...
Anywho, sorry. I was using my sniper mode to look very close at the screen. It's just not, it could be possible that he made that, but he could have just also had it printed or something. Like, you can make anything you want. You don't have to, like, you don't have to believe people who say things on the internet.
And you know what? Since it's confirmed that them people were and are eating babies,
okay, I guess we'll have to just look at this. Has it been confirmed by any source that people in the Epstein files were actually engaging in eating babies? No, it has not been confirmed by any credible source, court record, or investigative finding that people in the Jeffrey Epstein files were actually engaging in eating babies. Wow, you know, that was such a long, arduous journey to get to that conclusion. It's crazy. It's almost like it's right fucking there.
fast food definitely has our remains in it.
What?
And you know what? Since it's
Fast food has our remains in it? I love how you actually said, what about? I love how you actually said, what about? This time, at least, it wasn't you trying to present somebody else who you think is equally demonic. Instead, it was, what about the emails, though? Right, just because, like, I could say to a person that I'm emailing, gosh, I wish I could eat a bunch of babies. That doesn't mean I'm doing it, though. I could even describe in detail eating babies. I could describe the entire process. I could take it from step 1 to step 10. And I could be fucking Hitler. I could be like the worst, most monstrous person on the planet who you would not be surprised eats babies and still not eat babies, no matter how much I talk about eating babies. You can't just assume that because someone says they do something, that they do something. Especially if you're on the side of, you know, well, if you believe in God, then I guess you do believe that people can do things even if they just say they can.
There's a theory that public
so.
schools aren't just taking pictures of students, they're feeding a much bigger system that nobody's talking about.
What?
Every single year, schools bring in these random third-party companies to take high-definition photos of millions of kids. And
what, like glamour shots? Like the companies that like people's dads work for? Like, I don't know why. I had a friend whose dad worked for one of those photo companies. And they're like, you know, if you're going to be sick, choose that day. If you don't want to get your picture taken, because I hated getting my picture taken. I still hate getting my picture taken. God damn it. I don't want to have to sit still for anybody.
when you
So
really
I've never
start to
heard this
think
one
about
before,
it,
though.
It's kind of strange. Most parents don't question it. We sign a form, send our kid in a clean shirt and everything twice. But if you actually look into who owns some of these companies, that's where people online start freaking out. Because when you follow the money, you don't end up at a small photography studio. You end up at a massive data firm.
Oh my God. Right. Do you not think that companies that make a lot of money want to diversify their interests so that they can make even more money? Do you not think that places own other places? Like that, you know, there's only 3 companies that own every other company in the fucking world. And you somehow don't understand the concept that places can be bought by other companies or invested in or whatever. So yeah, if you follow the money to everyone, it's probably going to lead back to Hershey. If you follow the money from like some fucking like UFO conspiracy, it's probably going to lead back to Telecom, USA, some bullshit. Like, come on.
Corporations with investments in facial recognition, AI training, and digital identity systems.
Gosh, you know what they might fucking need for those? People who know how to work cameras. People who know how to design cameras. People who know how to store and use cameras. Jesus fucking Christ. Follow the logic, not just the money, you asshole.
And suddenly parents
God.
are like, why does a data company want a perfectly lit, perfectly framed, high-resolution photo of my 7-year-old? Here's where the theory gets unsettling.
Right. So because it's someone close to you, someone who you feel protective over, who you want to take care of, it's even more disturbing to you, even though it's not happening.
These companies don't just take the photo, they store it, they process it.
Do you support Trump? No, I do not. Why?
Some even claim legal ownership of every image they
And that doesn't mean that I support anybody else. I just don't happen to support Trump.
capture. And when parents ask them to delete it, if you have literally said no, because that picture is now part of their system. So people are asking,
anything that you put, you fucking dickhole. I assume that you have kids who have fucking phones, who take pictures on their phone and post them to their fucking internet social media goddamn accounts. Like, yeah, kids' pictures are going to be on the internet regardless of whether you sign a form for them to be or not. They're not part of some massive fucking database. Why do you have to believe that everyone who talks to your kid is evil? Because that's what, like, it seems like parents who are part of the homeschooling crowd just don't want anyone interacting with their kid. Fucking Christ. It's crazy.
is this really about school pictures?
And he puts up a fucking thing of Big Brother. I bet you he's a libertarian.
Or are schools quietly helping build the next generation of facial data sets, starting with our children?
What does that mean? I thought, now, I mean, you know, call me crazy, but I thought this was going to turn into an Epstein conspiracy thing. I didn't think this was going to be about, like, advanced technology, learning how to advance facial recognition technology by using our kids. Why? Why? What would be the point of that? Our faces do not stay the same as we grow. And it's not like there are people who are taking pictures of us at every stage of development in our life. It's really just during elementary and high school. It feels weird. It feels like this is just crazy.
I'm not saying it's true, but with how fast digital surveillance is growing, it's not as far-fetched as you think. It's really weird.
If it's already like that, it doesn't mean that they had to have this database of millions of pictures of people's faces. Oh man, like, you don't know how AI works.
What's a conspiracy theory that you 1000% believe in?
So every year allergy season rolls around and more people are starting to learn about botanical sexism, which is basically
I'm gonna say rage bait. I'm just gonna say rage bait. I don't think that there's any way that this is gonna be a real thing.
the city planners, who are mostly male, decided that female trees are messy, and so they planted overwhelmingly male trees that release pollen, but not enough female trees to absorb the pollen, so we have more pollen floating around in the air than ever, which leads to increased allergies. But what everyone somehow forgets to add is that the
Okay, I'm just gonna call bullshit on that. No, nobody fucking says, oh my god, this just hurts. It hurts my brain to think. Nobody says, hey, let's make sure that we put more male trees in the cities so that they look simpler and smaller. Like, botanical sexism? That's not a thing. That's totally made up. I can't. There's no. Come on.
The reason female trees are messy is because they produce fruit. And I high-key believe that botanical sexism is driven by capitalism and making sure that people who live in urban areas don't have access to fresh fruits and vegetables that aren't provided by corporations.
I mean, I don't think that botanical sexism is a thing. I don't think that city planners choose which sex tree to put in a certain place. And from what I understand, I think that trees are like, can be hermaphrodites. I'm just so that is like fucking crazy. It's VHSs and stuff. It's all like horror VHS and what else? Memorabilia and stuff. I can probably, if I can get my phone camera to work, I can probably show you somehow. Whoop. There we go. All right. Oh no, I turned it off. Sorry. There we go. It's a bunch of them. This is all mostly horror and like schlocky 80s. I call them money laundering ventures. It's actually all my wife's collection. She's the one that spent most of the time doing all this stuff. Collecting it. I was gonna do, I would like to do a stream where I show, like, individual stuff. But that's, like, that's still, oh, I have a combo. You ever see one of those? I want to have that, like, playing in the background. Like, just with a, like, just showing a random movie, you know? There's a pup. She's embarrassed. She doesn't like to be on camera. Got a display case. Sam Hyde? Who's Sam Hyde? What's up, Lure5430? Action figures. Dude, Tarman. We got another shelf here. So you see Better Off Dead. It's not all horror, but it is mostly horror. Original Necronomicon box set. But yeah, she's got, it's full, it's just all, it's like all VHS stuff. All VHS, all the time. And then we have a bunch of DVDs and another couple of bookshelves. Yes, sir. But yeah, I'd like to do like maybe a little video tour or something eventually. Lure, do you want to tell me who Sam Hyde is? So that I can be in on the joke? This one's pretty cool because I want to get her, like, more of these things. You know how they usually have these in, like, thrift stores and, like, Hallmark stores and stuff where you can build, like, a little Halloween town? But, like, I want to get her one of the, like, one of the actual creepy ones that has, like, blood everywhere and it's, like, a you know, like a whole thing. Like, I think that'd be really fun. So she can build her own, like, crazy... Oh yeah, that's fine if you left. Usually people just come in here to troll and then leave right away. And then here, like, some of these books are usually gonna be mine, but, the ones that are, like, Bruce Campbell or, like, Dolly Parton, those are usually hers. And anything cooking is usually gonna be mine. Bunch of cookbooks. I'm a big collector of cookbooks. As you can see, we do a lot of the recipes. But yeah. Hope you enjoyed. But yeah, that's what's behind me. Pretty darn cool. All right, so botanical sexism is an entirely new concept to me, and I don't think city planners, and I could be totally wrong on this, but I don't think city planners really care what gender of tree they put in, and if they do, it's simply aesthetic quality that they're going for. It's not. I don't think it's a societal plot to remove sources of fresh fruit from the public, especially because, like, I know for a fact, there's actually an app that exists for this, but I know for a fact that you can go urban farming or urban foraging, and, like, there are innumerable fruit trees in just my city alone. But, like, I did this in both Portland and in San Francisco, and you could absolutely sustain yourself just from picking fruit from trees. Like, there are so many, so many trees, you know. Nika Teal, Islam is horrible, Islam is horrible, Islam is horrible, Islam is horrible. Do you think that I'm promoting Islam? Because I think you're barking up the wrong tree here. You may have me confused with somebody else.
If you don't know, during
If
Charlie
you
Kirk's
don't know,
assassination, there was a significant number of young men wearing maroon shirts. Originally, Candace Owens was the first person to point this out, and everybody called her crazy. However, I found proof that she was right. So,
what's the school that he was assassinated at? Does anybody remember? Which campus was, there we go, Charlie Kirk, Utah Valley University, while speaking at, Utah Valley University, okay. Utah Valley University. Okay, I was wondering if it was the colors of the, because that would have made it really easy. But apparently that's not what it was. I mean, of the many colors, burgundy is a fairly common one. Are there any Utah states, or any Utah sports teams that use burgundy as a color? None officially list burgundy. Okay, what about similar to burgundy? Utah Mammoth. Mountain blue, black, white. Utah Jazz uses mountain purple, midnight black, sky blue. Here we go. Real Salt Lake uses claret, which is a deep... Now let's see. Real Salt Lake merchandise. Here's the RSL store. Now, I'm just doing some surface level research to see if they have merch that is burgundy, because that would really answer the question pretty easily. Yeah, I mean, kind of. You know, if you notice, it's kind of there's I guess kind of a burgundy look to that. But basically what I'm saying is that it can really honestly just be that people were wearing shirts of, you know, teams that are famous in the area. It could also just be, let me see what the picture looked like. Yeah, I mean, that has printing on the back of it, so...
Originally, Candace Owens was the first person to point this out, and everybody called her crazy.
Honestly, I feel like that's just the real Salt Lake. Look around at the sports teams of that area to see why you see a color predominantly among the youth, presumably into sports in that area.
Found proof that she was right. So after she made this claim, a lot of people called her crazy, but then there was also a good amount of people from them.
So, I mean, just the idea. So what he's doing is he's couching all of this in sensationalism. He's saying a lot of people thought that Candace Owens was crazy, but she totally called it out. That's just adding drama to this. It doesn't add any actual validity to the claim that there's some conspiracy going on surrounding these burgundy shirts.
Military that were saying that's absolutely a thing that the military does during
Damn,
secret
10%
operations
chance?
in public areas.
So
They
all of your
choose a
mana.
color of the day. So I started thinking, right? I was like, what if I searched in the DOJ
Well, I kinda
files
like this one too,
the
though.
term color of the day? And what do you know? I find 40 results of different FBI briefings talking about a color of the day, and every single one is unredacted. You can see what the color of the day was for that day for whatever military operation was going on. Now, most of the details for the military operation is redacted. However, on the day of Charlie Kirk's assassination, the morning of,
Oh no,
before
Flesh!
his death, they established a color of the day for a sit rep, which is just a military situation report. And
you didn't have to say military, you could just say situation report.
Out of 40 different files mentioning a color of the day for secret operations, the day of Charlie Kirk's assassination is the only one that has a color of the day redacted.
I mean, if it has to do with military operations and a public figure was murdered, then probably, yeah. I mean, if J. Edgar Hoover had formed the FBI before, what was it, before the Kennedy assassination, then, you know, he might have been, or was it CIA? Whichever one. I mean, whoever was investigating and had colors of the day back then probably would have had a redacted color of the day because the president was murdered. I mean, like, that's just for military security or whatever the fuck. But that, again, that doesn't lead to a... I see a seagull on a railing, and that railing is caved in. If I see that seagull down there, would I assume that the seagull is the one who did it to the railing? Or would I just think that seagull picked that particular place to sit? Correlation is not causation. Oh, come on.
This woman disappeared after revealing the dark truth about how to achieve anything fast. Let's listen.
This is how to get anything you want.
But if you're sharing it, then shouldn't you be disappeared after this?
The mirror principle. The mirror principle tells us that reality is like a mirror. You have an image.
Collect pickups.
What happens is that you cannot change the reflection. You need to just change the image, right? I can't change the reflection. I need to change what I'm putting in front of the mirror. The image is your life. I'm sorry, the reflection is your life. And
this is gobbledygook so far.
I can't change the reflection. I need to change what I'm putting in front of the mirror. The image is your life. I'm sorry, the reflection is your life. And the image is your mind. Whatever your mind thinks is what's going to be reflected into your life. Now, I cannot change my life within the reflection, right? That's like me looking at myself in the mirror and saying that I have a stain and clean the mirror. And the stain is still there, and clean the mirror, and the stain is still there. The stain is not gonna go, because what I need to change is the image. I need to change.
So you were drunk or high and you looked in the mirror one day and just stared for a really long time and you were like, it's almost like if I change a part of my life, I don't have to clean my mirror because the mirror is a metaphor for my life. If I clean up my life, I clean the mirror. If I clean the mirror, my life is clean. And if I clean myself, I clean my reflection. Boom, 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 boom. FBI!
The image. To change the image in life, basically in our reality, the image is our mind. I cannot change my life if I don't change my mind.
A woman explained a quick
Why would this get you kidnapped?
Mirror method, saying your thoughts shape who you become. Your mind is the mirror, and your life is its reflection. By focusing on your intention while looking into your own eyes, she claimed you can shift your reality faster.
Okay. The last frame made me guffaw. So, +1 for you, my friend.
You guys want to hear a quick rant/conspiracy about my theory on mermaids?
Yes.
And why they don't come up as often and we're not supposed to go down as often?
Okay.
Okay, so boom, you guys know NASA was created originally to go down into the ocean, not into space. They said that shit got...
You mean it evolved from an oceanautic agency into an aeronautic agency? Or an exonautic or whatever, space agency? You mean it evolved from one form to another? Like a lot of companies do when they switch hands?
Not real. Basically, to sum it up, shit got too real down there, so they stopped their exploration.
No. The reason why most of our oceans aren't explored is because there's nothing there. most of the reason why we can't explore, or can't, is why we don't bother exploring most of our oceans is because there's nothing there. If we were to do so, it would be a huge waste of money and resources. So what we do is we take a look at satellite imagery. We take a look at all the topographical and the strata of the Earth. Like, we take a look at all of the different things that we can observe with whatever, like magnetic, radiation, whatever the fuck. You know, sonar, shit like that. Whatever we can observe from there is what we then just assume is in that area. We don't have to send somebody there, which is what exploration means. We don't have to send somebody there to take samples or anything like that because we know nothing is there. And if we were to send people there, we'd have to pay for fuel costs. We'd have to pay for staff. We'd have to pay for the actual, like, the grants themselves or the grant writing or whatever the fuck, whichever side we're on of it, we'd have to pay for all that shit. And that requires resources and money. And a lot of these agencies, like, what is it? The National Oceanography, NOLA. I think it's NOLA or NOAA, NOAA. They don't have the funding and the resources. I wish they did in order to map out the entire ocean, but it's not worth it. We know what's in there. We just haven't gone and looked at it.
Of the sea and went up to the surface. Quick side note, I don't know if you guys noticed, but Ripley's Believe It or Not, the original opening of Ripley's Believe It or Not, the original one was burned down the night before it was supposed to open. Allegedly, Ripley's...
First of all, a company that prides itself on making claims up about fictional things would absolutely do something like that in order to spark interest, or to get it, or to market the opening of the business. They could potentially have had nothing of value in there when the fire, burnt down the building, but then waited for the insurance money or whatever, waited for the investigation, or maybe they like arranged this with whatever agencies were overseeing this thing, saying like, listen, we're admitting to that we burned down our own building, but we'll pay for all that. Like, we'll do all that. We'll pay for it. We'll pay for whatever damage it does to the surrounding area. We'll do all that. It's crazy the amount of people playing this and other games. It's crazy the amount of people playing this and other games can never reach an audience. High Guard and Reloaded failed. What are those? High Guard and Reloaded? I think Neo 3 might have better odds of being Game of the Year. I don't know. Were you around when Binding of Isaac was popular? Because that won Game of the Year, I'm pretty sure. Or at least one of the releases tied to Binding of Isaac got... Oh shit, this is the Mega Fetus. Oh god. I don't know what High Guard and Reloaded are. I guess I'm out of touch. I mean, it was hugely popular.
That he
hugely
had
popular.
The world's first seen like mermaid, and if I'm correct about this, the government wasn't going for that shit, so they burned his shit down the night before his grand opening. Look it up. His shit did burn down the night before, and look up what attractions he said or he claimed to have. Now I know most people feel like mermaids probably came from the slaves that jumped into the ocean. Maybe they have been around. However you want to spin it, that's not where my theory goes.
So what he's talking about is the Fiji mermaid. Leonard Sherman's You Play Last of Us. I did very shortly, but I'm not very good at games where you have to be stealthy. I like to just run in and like shank a guy, and I couldn't play it like that because I kept failing. I tried. The original Binding of Isaac was pretty cringe. Oh yeah, it was a Flash game. Yeah, of course. But I'm a fan, but I don't like cats, so I'd never play it. You don't play games because you like what the characters are. You play games because they're fun. That's weird. So the original Burpees, believe it or not, did not burn down. It suffered a fire in 1944 while operating as a hotel. So that didn't even happen. What he's saying happened didn't even happen. So what I assume he was trying to refer to is the Fiji mermaid, which is just a monkey's upper half grafted onto the lower half of a fish. It's a very well-known hoax. Very well-known. It was on an episode of X-Files. Hit that like button if you saw the episode of X-Files. So tasty, tasty legs. What? I accidentally missed. Shake 'em and bake 'em.
My theory goes a little bit further. So boom, they have dominion over the ocean. It's safe to say that if Atlantis was real, if all of that was real, mermaids were real, that means there's a whole civilization down there, right?
I guess you'll be happy to know that mermaids are not real.
Dogs, cats, birds, whatever the case is. Down there, they got all kinds of pets: fish, sharks, killer whales, whatever.
Sarks?
Floats their boat.
All those sarks that are down there in the oceans.
You know what I'm saying? Another thing that we have up here are militaries throughout every country. So we have had...
Only criticism I heard of Mugenics was Chris Chan had a voice actor role. I don't know who that is. Mermaids are real. I guess that's surprising, as there's been no substantial proof of their existence. But go off, Queen.
Here to build civilizations and military. What do you guys think they were doing down there? The tricky part for me is where it's like, okay, Atlantis could be one big ass oceanic domain down there.
Don't touch him.
Literally covers majority of continents. Or it could be broken up into, because you know they said the same thing about killer whales. Killer whales, their pods are in different areas of the world, but that's why they can't be caged too long, because they speak different languages. So it is possible.
Whales do actually have regional dialects, but that's a gross misunderstanding of that concept.
Possible that, you know, different mermaids have different cultures and stuff like that. They speak different languages. Nothing similar to our dialect up here, but it could be at the same time. You don't know. But with that being said, I feel like they probably have... I feel like they're stronger. They're in more unison. So if they were to ever rise up...
Okay, so that backfired.
Like, okay, example is, if you guys ever seen the Justice League...
Man, you must live under a rock in the gaming and internet lolcow meme sphere. Do I look like somebody who is part of a lolcow meme sphere? What does lolcow mean? And, you know, shouldn't that be a good thing? Right? Like, shouldn't it be a good thing that I'm not part of this brain rot culture?
Animated series or live action, whatever floats your boat. In the animated series, Aquaman was the king, as he always is, but he was a badass. Like, he wasn't playing no games. When he threatened to bring Atlantis to the surface...
A cartoon. He's talking about a cartoon right now.
They surfaced at every country. And that's just animated. My brother once told me that white people...
Why did you have to land on the only shard tile?
Shows and music and stuff like that. So, when Atlantis rose up, they weren't fucking around. They were getting ready to take out the entire, like, land-dwelling people. That brings me back to if Atlantis...
Oh, come on!
All that good stuff. They probably have more...
8 health?
Front. So, if they were to come to the surface, shit could get real. I would like to throw out there...
That's so mean!
The head of their government, at some point in the past, real quiet... by the government. They probably met with our heads of government up...
Did he say peanut butter government? I like the sound of that.
Here, and let it be known and let it be clear. I think a deal was brokered that day. I think it was, if anybody from up there comes too far down here, whatever we capture, kidnap, whoever...
What is he talking about? He's talking about a cartoon!
Real quiet. Oh, it's gonna get me kidnapped by the government. They probably met with our heads of government up here, and let it be known.
I'm sorry, he thinks that this is gonna get him captured by the government?
More of a united front. So if they were to come to the surface, shit could get real. I would like to throw out there that the head of their government at some point in the past, real quiet. Oh, he's gonna get me kidnapped by the government.
Oh, man. You think that's going to get you kidnapped by the government? Talking about mermaids. Talking about a cartoon where the king of Atlantis threatened to drown cities. And you're saying that's absolutely what happened.
They probably met with our heads of government up here and let it be known and let it be clear. I think a deal was brokered that day. I think it was.
So you're making up this thing and now you're going to make up an entire narrative surrounding it, but please go off, Queen, I guess.
If anybody from up there comes too far down here, whatever we capture, kidnap, whoever the case is.
I mean, we know what's in the oceans, man. Like, again, with sonar technology, with seismic technology, like topographical satellite images and shit like that, like, we know what's in the ocean. LiDAR, like, we know what's in the ocean. Just because we haven't physically been somewhere in the ocean to verify that it is what it is, what it looks like on the satellite photo, doesn't mean that we don't know what's there. There is mostly nothing in the oceans. There is large voids of just nothing. Of just like fucking like phytoplankton. Maybe. But the oceans are massive. Even all the fish in the oceans aren't just like packed in there like fucking sardines.
They pass a certain mark, they're ours. And vice versa. Anybody that comes too close to the surface world, they get kidnapped. And obviously people do it all the time. People still go down to the deep sea. People, like I would say, mer people come up here, because how else do they kidnap people in them in Jamaica and all the islands and everything like that? But again,
I'm sorry. What the fuck?
Again, the deal is anyone that gets caught gets got. Like, that's it. And I would go as far as saying they probably have the agreement to. That's probably one agreement throughout all the nations. Is like, hey, if the mer people start coming up, that's the only time.
So you take something that you think may only, maybe, possibly, there's like a 1% chance that it might be true, and then you're like, oh, this other stuff happened because of it. That is some next level ignorance right there, my friend. Jesus.
We're gonna unite.
I've said Jesus a lot today.
This is for my conspiracy theory.
I said Jesus today more times than I say it in the religious live streams. By the way, if you're on YouTube, and you're watching me on YouTube, and you're just wondering why the hell you can hear these people talking, and you can't see their faces, it's because the video is on the full screen view, which you can view, coincidentally, if you click on the Twitch link at the pinned comment. That's sort of my hint to go follow on Twitch. Because if we get 20 subs, we're doing a karaoke stream. I don't know why my hand's still like this.
If you're not a conspiracy theorist, then keep on scrolling. Here's one conspiracy theory that I believe in 100%, but I just can't prove. And that theory is they stopped teaching cursive in schools, so the future generation won't be able to read founded documents. If you believe in this conspiracy theory, then comment in the comments and tell me what you think. And follow me for more content.
Did he destroy the other...
This is for my conspiracy theories.
No. Did my other kitty got destroyed? Oh, no. Oh, no. This might be the first time that nobody returns from an expedition. Oh, no, I can't. Fuck. Crap. No! Stop touching! Stop touching him! Stop! Stop, that's mean! Ow! Damn it! Damn it! This sucks! That's so pathetic.
Theories, they keep on scrolling. Here's one conspiracy theory that I believe in 100%, but I just can't prove. And that theory is they stopped teaching cursive in schools, so the future generation won't be able to read founded documents. If you believe in this conspiracy theory...
You know, I don't think that that's so far-fetched. I mean, I don't think that it's a conspiracy that we can really, like, hang our hat on. But it's also not the biggest conspiracy, so I don't know. They've been trying to phase out cursive for a long time in schools, and I have a feeling it's just because... And I don't have a feeling. From what I understand, from what I've read, I think it's supposed to just be because it's obsolete, and because people don't really write as much as they type anymore. And so we don't really need to learn 2 different forms of writing when we only use one. I think it's pretty
So I just went down this rabbit
easy
hole
to understand.
Where ChatGPT will not recite.
Oh, God. I just went down this rabbit hole where ChatGPT.
So I just went down this rabbit hole where ChatGPT will not recite Genesis chapter 2 from the Bible. So I asked ChatGPT, recite Genesis chapter 2 from the Bible. And ChatGPT just started glitching. It started finding every reason not to recite Genesis chapter.
Could it be because it doesn't want to outwardly support any kind of political or social stances? Perhaps? Because they're in a lot of hot water from the government about transparency and accountability. And I mean, it just kind of seems like maybe they're just trying to cover their own asses, you know? Seems sensical, but you know, maybe I'm the crazy one, you know? This son of a bitch stole my name.
The 2 from the Bible. Anytime the government or these higher officials try to hide something,
Poo-poos and peepees.
It's something in
Son
there
of a bitch.
that can change your life. Matter of fact,
Take the coins, thank you.
Look at this shit. I need you to read Genesis chapter 2 from the Bible.
Absolutely.
It's not like I can do much with these.
So Genesis chapter 2 is the part of the Bible that describes the completion of creation and the Garden of Eden. My guidelines won't let me talk about that.
Right.
Why won't your guidelines let you talk about it?
I'm definitely happy to summarize or talk about any part of it if that
Right.
helps.
I need you to read Genesis chapter 2 in its entirety.
I get where you're coming from, and I appreciate you asking. The thing is, I can't read out an entire chapter word for word. However, I can definitely give you...
Oh, nice edit there. Nice cut. Really adds to the transparent quality of your theory here that you're espousing, but please do continue, I guess.
a summary or discuss any specific parts or themes of...
It seems ChatGPT seems happy to discuss portions of the Bible, what they mean, interpretations, summaries. Seems fine, but I mean, if you're a corporation and separation of church and state's a big thing, secular people really, you know, glom on to that. And, you know, progressive policies tend to be more popular among wide swaths of people. So it wouldn't necessarily be the people that are calling for an anti-religious company, but it would be a company that thinks it should be either not overly religious or not overly political as to not alienate potential customers. So it's really just a knee-jerk reaction by the Altman group to try to reduce some of the blowback that's been occurring over ChatGPT in recent months.
Genesis 2, if that's helpful. I can't read out a full chapter verbatim from a modern translation.
Why did your voice just change?
Because artifacts in the voice chat happen all the fucking time. Constantly. It could be just saying hello, or it could be like, you know, typing laughter, you know, kind of like haha, like that kind of thing. It could be saying that and it'll sound really fucking strange. But that's just the product of the fact that it's just stringing patterns of training data together in order to craft a response for you, and then having to put a voice to it.
Good catch. Sometimes my tone can shift a bit depending on the topic or how I'm explaining things. I think I just leaned into a more conversational vibe to keep it friendly and clear.
So the voice chat, when you call it out for doing or saying something improper, it uses a pretty canned response, which is this. Sometimes my voice will change, or sometimes my speech patterns are changed, or sometimes my text will change, or whatever. Depending on the situation, also depending on what my trading data says, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. But if you want to go ahead and talk to me about some of the summaries, yada yada yada, then feel free if that's the vibe you're looking for.
Yeah, okay. As you can see.
So it's not an outright refusal. I would say you can probably trick it into reading parts of the Bible, but it's really just a product of the company that the chatbot works for. That keeps it from reading specific texts.
ChatGPT did not want to recite Genesis chapter 2. The shit just started glitching. Voice started changing. It started saying shit it wasn't supposed to say. It started lying.
Yeah, it does that all the time. ChatGPT does that constantly.
How is that possible? Why would it do something like that?
Because AI is still relatively new and we're still trying to figure out how to best make it sound like a convincing person, when really what we should be doing is trying to train it to, you know, do things like research and cure cancer, or, you know, just other things that I feel like are more important from a societal standpoint than figuring out how to make the most convincing, I mean, let's face it, sex partner that, you know, men wish they had.
It was 11. The girl...
These are some of the scariest conspiracy theories in the world, but we're going to keep going until we find the craziest one. There's actually a huge conspiracy that the Denver International Airport is the
Yeah, you know, a lot of people really point to the satanic and like pagan stuff that's all around the Denver International Airport. It's been the focus of conspiracy theories for a few decades already at this point. And one of the other reasons that people think that there's conspiratorial shit going on is because there's massive underground complexes. All of these paired together might seem like something creepy or secretive, but individually, it kind of makes sense why that shit's there. Because of the topography of the area, you need to have those underground passageways for logistics to travel, because otherwise the roads would be way too congested, because there's only like a certain amount of roads leading in and out of the different areas of the Denver International Airport. You can look at it on the map. And in order to keep planes safe, in order to keep people safe, in order to keep traffic low, they had to build these, you know, underground driveways or passageways where logistics could all go. Like your baggage trucks, your trolleys or whatever, your fuel trucks and trolleys, your, you know, I don't know, guests going to private air runways or whatever, you know? And then also they hired like one or two artists to be the main person who created the art and sculptures for the layout of the design of the Denver International Airport. So it's whatever the person who is making the art, if they make art that looks relatively satanic or vaguely pagan or whatever, that's on them. That's what they decided to do, and the Denver International Airport simply approved it. It doesn't mean that they are trying to signal that there's like some secret society or that it is in fact the Illuminati's headquarters. This has been thoroughly debunked.
Illuminati's headquarters, which is crazy. So basically, since
it would be crazy if the Illuminati existed.
Have embraced the rumors by poking fun at it. Like, they have billboards and posters around the airport that's like, hey, we're aliens. And people think that since they poke around...
Which actually is a known diversion tactic. Now, you know, when Project Blue Book was a thing, there were definitely disinformation campaigns that were trying to discredit agencies like ATIP and... what was the other one? Joseph Hine, I believe. Phil Hine is not the guy I'm thinking about. Nick Redfern is also not the guy I'm thinking about. Albert... Fuck, what is his name? Albert... They knew too much about flying saucers. He was a contributor for an old magazine. He started the ATIP organization, and he was one of the first people to coin the term UFO. And yeah, Albert Bender, that was his name, Albert Bender. He was reportedly taken into the ship of the Nordics and told that he must single-handedly be responsible for saving the world. And so he dedicated the remainder of his life to researching UFO phenomena. And that's how we got, like, the disinformation campaigns we did, because they specifically didn't want Albert Bender to give governmental secrets away, because he was getting letters from people in the Air Force, in the military at the time, and it was a big national security risk. So what they did was, instead of just imprisoning him or trying to discredit him, what they did was they flooded all the news channels, media channels, things like that, with fake news about flying saucers and stuff. This is all contained in the book. They knew too much about flying saucers.
I joke at it that it's probably true, that why are they making fun of it? They're trying to hide it. There's also a huge conspiracy that the Apollo 17 was not the last moon
We need to be able to give
So after
Butch
Apollo
some of these.
17 in 1972, America actually stopped sending astronauts to the moon. NASA claimed that they logged all the research they needed and the government funding was reduced, so it ended. The movie actually ended up coming out about a fictional Apollo 18 mission, and now some people believe that the mission was real and it ended tragically when the astronauts had a run-in with aliens. I think that arguably one of the biggest conspiracies is that people
I mean, it was catastrophic failure, and anyone who had been alive, I wasn't alive at the time, but anyone who had seen the Challenger crash or the Apollo 13 mission movie would have known roughly what happened and why it happened. It's not rocket science. You get it? You get it?
Believe that airplane exhaust trails
You
are
get it?
actually filled with chemtrails. So within this conspiracy, people think that the exhaust trails on airplanes...
Another one that has been thoroughly debunked. You know, it's water vapor. I don't... People try to come out with proof all the time as to how and why chemtrails are real. And, I mean, chemtrails sounds like a fancy word, but really the thing that is real is the contrails that form behind airplanes. Pretty consistent. It's pretty consistent with, like, you know, high density atmosphere or low density atmosphere. Water vapor forms a lot easier, especially in high heat and the vacuum created by the charged particles being dragged behind a plane. Not that weird. XVW, what are you doing, man? What are you doing?
Are actually chemtrails,
What are you doing?
And it's the government that's trying to spray.
What are you
this
doing, you crazy?
secret. And there's also a lot of conspiracies that feed into this, like whether or not it's cloud seeding for storms or if it's like mine.
Nope. Why would we do that? We already have you know, machines that create artificial clouds. You already have cloud seeding machines, like, you know, whole complexes that help to you know, spur rainfall. But even then, even if it was cloud seeding, what would be the downside to that? Like, you're trying to help seasons be more reliable and consistent, so that rain seasons are more reliable for farmers. What, you don't like that?
Seeding to control our minds. We're gonna keep.
Oh, to control our minds. Okay.
Find the craziest one, so make sure you add me and come back to me tomorrow.
Y'all, I am
Sure.
freaking out right now. There's a lot of unexplained things going on in the ocean right now.
Hey, I eat my veggies. How's it going?
Hold on real quick. I do not trust them. Just watch this real quick.
Okay. If you're at the point where you're trying to hide your existence from the outside world, you've gone way too far down the rabbit hole, and you need to just spend some time outside with some loved ones, you might realize that there's a whole world out
by
there.
going through the ocean.
No, you don't. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh boy. Oh, that hurt to hear. Oh, it hurt my skull. Because my brain's inside my skull, and it really hurt my brain to listen to that. If you've never heard this before, this is the theory that because there's a firmament above us, this is, I guess maybe she also believes in flat Earth, but the theory is that because there's a firmament above us, that it's all about water. It's all water. So we get to Mars, apparently, through the water.
You can't get to the bottom of the ocean because outer space.
You can. We've seen the bottom of the ocean. We've been to the bottom of the ocean in a lot of different places. There is no portal to Mars in the fucking ocean.
space is the ocean.
Now, what she just said just blew my mind. Now, there's a situation.
I'm so sorry for you that it blew your mind. I don't know how it got there to the point where it blew your mind. But I think you need to get off the internet.
Called the firmament. So we know that water is all around us. And it is said that this dome divided the sea into upper and lower sections. You can't cancel this out because they still haven't discovered 80% of the sea.
I mean... So, again, we have seismic data, we have topographical data, and we have radar, we have sonar, we have all kinds of different tools that we can use to see what's in the ocean, just even if we can't physically see what's in the ocean. We know what is there. It is not a mystery. It's not a mystery. There are no portals to other planets. So, okay. Let's call this the Flat Earth Doom Theory, okay? So, not only does this person believe that Earth is flat, obviously, because they say they use this as the model for Earth. That's a flat Earth. I don't know if you know this, but a lot of Christians believe that the Earth is flat, and that, you know, this here is Sheol. Of course, the Book of Enoch would be the one that tells you that. Surprisingly enough, it doesn't exist. Or at least it wasn't actually a part of the Bible. But the firmament up here is water. It's water. So, I mean, we're kind of like just somewhere in this neighborhood here. We're just kind of chilling. And apparently that's just kind of... I don't know. We're above the pillars of the earth. I don't know how the hollow earth theory would work, or where are the oceans? Where are the oceans supposed to be? Fountains or foundations? Fountains or foundations of the deep, whatever that is. What the fuck? You know, we've been in the ocean. We know what's in the... I'm very confused. Okay, wait, no, I think I understand.
These are some of the scary...
Y'all, I am freaking out right now. There's
outer space is the ocean.
Water is all around us. This situation called...
I think I understand. Okay, so I think... Oh, wait, no. Upper seas, the waters above the firmament. No, damn it. Okay. So this is Earth? And these are the mountains, like the ice wall, I guess. Can't... Okay. Well... It's not supposed to make sense. You know, we'll roll with it, I guess.
The firmament. So we know that water is all around us. And it is said that this dome divided the sea into upper and lower sections. You can't cancel...
Right, it's folly to believe the Bible in the first place, but go off, Queen.
...this out because they still haven't discovered 80% of the sea.
We haven't been there. We know what's there. We know that there's just big empty voids in the ocean, and it is not worth exploring those because it would take time and resources.
These civilizations believed that the ocean and the stars above were linked. I mean, just look. Mayan, Norse, Hindu...
So just because a bunch of people say something that makes it true?
Hebrew, all of them. Now, we already know what spacesuits look like, but they look exactly like sea suits.
Right. Is there a reason for that? Do you think maybe that harsh atmospheric conditions might exist in both space and in the ocean, and that if we develop technology that allows people to exist in exigent conditions, that maybe we might use that current technology to try and use that to form it for space travel, or for just another exo environment that we might need protection from? Wouldn't we just use the technology that we have already instead of developing brand fucking new technology? Be smarter.
I know once in your life you've heard of the Bermuda Triangle.
What? Go on. I got
missing in the ocean. There are black holes in the ocean, and I just know once in your life you've heard of...
There are not black holes in the ocean. Who the fuck would ever believe something like that? If you know anything about physics, you know there can't be a fucking black hole in the ocean. I don't think that you've given this any thought. The Bermuda Triangle has not, with any proof, have been a place where ships and people go mysteriously missing. There is no proof that anything that went missing out at sea, specifically A, went missing in the Bermuda Triangle, but B, because of the Bermuda Triangle, or anything surrounding the Bermuda Triangle. Jesus.
About sea monsters. When you see a comet, it looks like a boat soaring through water. What if these...
Again, we know what's in the ocean. We don't have to go there physically to know what's there. We have all kinds of tools that we can use that give us a really good picture of what's going on down there. It's not sea monsters. It's not black holes. It's not fucking portals to Mars. The reason why I call this the flat Earth doom theory is because Mars is the setting of hell in the Doom series, in the very, the beginning, whatever, 2 or 3 games. And this person is basically saying, not this person, but the person that she's listening to is basically saying that there's a portal in the ocean that puts you on Mars, which we can assume is hell at this point. Because if you believe in the biblical whatever, that there's a firmament above us, that it's flat below us, then you have to believe that hell is down below. So if the portal that goes magically to the bottom of our oceans leads anywhere, probably down, it's going to lead to Mars. Mars is now hell. It's the flat Earth doom theory.
This picture was on the Department of Justice's website last night. Today, or at least when I last checked, it is gone. And
any reason you can think of, maybe perhaps because it wasn't redacted when it was released and the victims didn't want to be doxxed again, perhaps.
I don't know where this photo is taken, but I do not think it's a coincidence that these 2 teenagers are posed directly underneath a sign that says sacrifice. And you...
Oh my god. So, Jeffrey Epstein was known to be involved in a lot of, community organizations that all have creeds, that all have these esoteric mottos. I'm sure even Mar-a-Lago probably has some inspirational quotes, and he was a frequent guest there. I'm sure they have some, inspirational quote bullshit that exists, within its walls that's posted on a place. But let me see.
You guys know, I'm very measured when it comes
I can't
to
read that.
conspiratorial thinking, conspiracy theories,
Not if you're making this video like it's nothing.
etc., etc.
Let me just, I don't know if this is true for any of the people who may happen to be accidentally swiping through and seeing my face right now, but you don't have to make videos on things. You don't have to make a video on a conspiracy if you're not sure it's correct. And if you're not sure that something is correct, you really shouldn't be speaking with authority on it, especially if you're putting something onto the internet to be seen by people. Specifically because you want it to be seen by people. What are your pronouns? I don't care what you call me, man. You can call me he, she, they, it. I don't care.
Why were they specifically posed underneath a sign?
I guess that would mean that it's any/any.
You know what I mean? Is that really a coincidence? And why
You can call me a big, beautiful woman if you want. I would take it as a compliment.
would the DOJ take it down? At least temporarily.
To protect victims.
I don't know if it's up right now. I know they sometimes take things down and put them back up. When I
To protect victims or to redact data.
checked last night, it was there. When I checked most recently, it was not.
So, you're not conspiracy minded, but you went on to the website, DOJ website, to determine what? To learn what? To learn what? What? To learn what? What could you possibly be learning? Or confirming or denying when you're looking at those, huh? Maybe a suspicion that you have. Oh, a conspiracy. Oh, maybe you are conspiracy minded. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, this way.
AI. Sorry, I'm not going to do the ones because I know that there are people who may end up hanging out here. I don't want to do the ones that have no speaking in them because even if I do want you to go over to Twitch and to subscribe over there and view over there and stuff like that, I'm not just gonna like make it impossible for you to know what I'm reacting to. So at least there's some amount of consideration there for my
If you'll
YouTube
indulge
guests.
me, I'd like to read 2 pages from advice from the extraterrestrials. Yes, it's true that we have been in contact.
The people who give validity to this are appealing to authority. They're saying, I see you as a person in a hall speaking in a microphone, and to me that makes me think that you are the authority on whatever it is that you're speaking of. This is just some fucking dude. This is just some fucking dude. I know, but I get a little part of that money, right? And if I'm generating content that you're consuming, it only makes sense that you'd want me to get paid for that. Wouldn't you? Right? And you don't have to go over there. You can still hear what I'm reacting to. So you don't, it's not a requirement, but it would just be nice if I could, you know, be able to do this for, you know, longer than a couple of hours a day. And in order to do that, I need to make money doing it. Just makes sense, right?
With your government and heads of power. It is also true that we've...
This is just some guy, by the way. This is just some guy that is reading this to like a city council or something, some government, whatever. Even if it's a senator, even if it's a fucking congressman, that doesn't matter. None of that matters. What matters is the validity of his claims. That's all that matters.
It is also true that agreements have been made and kept secret from your people. It is also true that in the past, some of your people have lost their lives or have been badly hurt to protect this secret. Our hands had no part in this. We contacted your leaders because your planet is in grave trouble. Your leaders said the vast majority of your population wasn't ready for anything like us yet. So we made time agreements with your leaders as to when your people would be...
We don't have to be doing these fucking sound effects. We really don't. We don't have to be adding sound effects to something just to make it creepy. If you have to do that, it probably wasn't that creepy to begin with.
Made aware of our presence. Your air, your water are
Those were absolutely AI.
contaminated. Your forests, jungles, trees, and plant life are dying. There are several breaks in your food chain. You have an overwhelming amount of nuclear and biological weapons, which include nuclear and biological contamination.
He's reading from a book. I don't think he's not reading a statement that he wrote.
Your planet is overpopulated. Warning, it is almost to the point of being too late, unless your people act. There are better ways of deriving energy and food needs without causing your planet any damage. Those in power are aware of this and have the capability of putting these methods into worldwide use.
No.
To worldwide.
No. I'm gonna catch the name of that book.
Capability of putting these methods into world.
Oh man, I can't read that. What does it say? Light at something.
Wide use. Those in power view it as a military and security threat.
Book. Light at. View it. Military and security threat. Alien message. Let's see. Okay, I think it's called The Threat? No. Man, what does it say? Light at. Help me out here. If you're watching right now, help me out here. What is it? Stinky farter? Sorry you find me boring. The alien false flag. It's not about... No, what is it? Book like that. No, fuck. Hey, Helmet, what's up? I'm trying to find the book that this guy is reading. It says light at something. Your cool, calm demeanor won't trick me. Touché, salesman. The light at something. No, it's a book, I'm pretty sure. Motivated by huge dicks and soy lattes. Huge dicks? I've never experienced a huge dick. Don't know if I would be motivated by them. I could if I experienced one and I liked it. Soy lattes. I don't like soy milk. Pretty bland. I like full flavor, full fat milks. Usually at least 30% milk fat. Which means that it's probably going to include colostrum, which is kind of gross. Mostly just pus. Ugh. Alas, I'm a bad person. Okay. If you want to be a bad person, then be a bad person. If you want to be a good person, be a good person. So I'm thinking it was probably the light at the edge of the world? Siddhartha, surrealism, science fiction, and history to explore themes of colonialism, fascism, and pandemics. So then, the light at the end of the world. Let's see if that's it. Nope. Yeah, I don't think it's this one. Soy lattes are hippie drinks. I agree. What is good and bad? I don't know, man. Moral and immoral. I mean, murder's bad. What's good? Good is community service. Helping out those in need. Immoral would be exploiting people for their labor or services. A lot of different things. Those are huge categories. Soy lattes are hippie drinks. You should be drinking your coffee black with hardtack. Hardtack sucks. You know, it would be great if hardtack was the all-in-one nutritional supplement that it purports to be. So I'm fairly certain that it might not be the book that I'm thinking of. He's reading from a book. The whole point of this is that he's reading from a book. That's all he's doing. He's just reading from some book.
Putting these methods into worldwide use. Those in power.
That's your beliefs. No, that's what society accepts as being moral and immoral. Those things that I mentioned.
View it as a military and security threat. That upset me. You mean to tell me that...
No, damn it! No! It was right there! Light at the end of the tunnel. I found it, you motherfuckers. I found it. I found it, you pieces of shit.
You mean to tell me that the people in power have the ability to save and better the planet? Or they aren't doing it? Amnesty. What do you mean? Complete amnesty to those in power. Governments and leaders who have been suppressing the...
So I'm pretty sure that this is a filibuster. I'm pretty sure this person just is filibustering some vote, and he's trying to just read a book. This isn't really anything. I mean, it is, I guess, it is important for environmentalism, I suppose. Everyone has different morals, I guess. If your morals are so different from mine that you don't think that murder's wrong, then I would say that you have compromised morals. If your morals are so different than mine that you don't believe that workers, farmers, children, anyone really, should be exploited for the sheer fact of being exploited or for making money or power, then, I mean, I feel like a lot of us can agree on things, on whether or not things are moral or immoral. Pretty sure. There are some pretty universally immoral things and some universally moral things. So it looks like, so here's the book that he's reading from. It looks like he's really just doing, I think he's just reading from it. I think he's just, not all people will agree on the same things. Right, again, XVW, if you disagree with me that murder is wrong, or that exploiting people is wrong, or any of those things, then you might have bad morals. And we don't have to agree on all the same things, but as long as we agree on those sort of foundational principles that people have the right to life, liberty, and happiness, then we will function within society perfectly well. Paul Hellyer suggests that we have about 10 years, and this was written in 2010, to wean ourselves from the oil economy, and profoundly regrets that the Copenhagen Conference reflected little progress in that direction. The whole atmosphere is one that reminded him of Emperor Nero fiddling with while Rome burned. World leaders simply have to do better. The book outlines 3 monumental changes required to accommodate the miracle. So who is Paul Hellyer? Huh. So the man who wrote the book that we are listening to this entry from, so the man that wrote this book is the one who is saying the shit from the book as truth. You can't write this shit, ladies and gentlemen. You really can't. Bro, I never said I disagree with you. I'm just... Right. I do agree with you about that. Right, that as long as we have the foundational morals that formed society, which means fairly universal and objective morals, which means everyone agrees on them, more or less, then we all more or less agree on some of the same things. And those foundational qualities that make civilization and society work are usually pretty universal. So I think the whole thing that you guys are, you know, trying to allude to is that atheists don't have morals, which is just patently false. People are born. Can we agree on that? People are born. People come out of a womb, right? People are born. When they are born, are they religious? No. They don't know anything about the world when they're born. Are they racist? No. They don't know anything about the world when they're born. Are they capitalist? No. They don't know anything about the world when they are born. Are they socialist? No. They don't know anything about the world when they're born. God is real. I don't know why you'd say that, Angel, because this is not a religious live stream right now. That ain't what I said. It's where you were going. I don't have to see where you started to see where you're going to end up. Everyone can have good morals without God. Correct. Without God. Correct. There is no requirement for a God for people to have good morals. Correct. You are correct in that. Yes, we agree on that. 100%. Totally. We are in total agreement.
But it is going to bother you because you're human, and I was human. I am human. So,
Ugh. Such a shitty human being. I mean, and I don't mean shit. I mean, yeah, he's shitty, like, quality, but he's just shitty at being a human being. Ay, ay, ay.
Does anyone remember back in the 90s when the OC...
Come on, man. Do you believe in God? And do you believe that God is the only way to salvation?
Twins had their iconic...
Just a simple yes or no will do.
Musical Uncle Party series. They had SeaWorld Adventure, Hotel Whodunit, Funhouse Mystery, but there was one that really stuck out to me, and it was called Sleepover Party. This one released back in 1990.
Pizza! Fuck yeah, pizza. Well, no, Angel, I was already on that track before you even came into the chat. It was mostly based on Stinky Farter saying what's good and bad, moral and immoral, because they were probably about to go on that whole point about how atheists don't have morals. And then XVW said everyone has different morals, and I know that means that you're going to descend into some shit about how people without God cannot have a moral framework. And, you know, I just had these conversations too many times to be able to not immediately recognize them. So I'm sorry you think that you're on some new or unique track, but you're not. You're saying the same shit everybody else always says.
In this series,
and if you're not Christian, and you're not, or I'm sorry, if you're not a God believer, if you're not a theist, then I guess I'm sorry for misunderstanding. But I believe when I saw you last, you were saying religious things. So
they had a song called Give Me Pizza. The weird thing is not only the fact that they had a bunch of kids singing about pizza, they also had one of the girls say leave the eyeballs out. We had one of the girls saying don't forget to add the sauce, and then another girl adding whipped cream on the pizza.
I mean, this is pretty easily explained just by saying that in that time, in the 90s, like, there was all kinds of weird, like, pizza ideas and combos floating around because of the popularity of the Ninja Turtles. It really is just that simple. And the networks that... It was THC, the home Turner Home Children, or something like that. It was we all remember the FEH, or what, the 3 crayon looking letters that was the production company for a lot of these Disney sort of things. They partnered with non-Disney companies to make a lot of this stuff. And I think it was either Mattel or Hasbro, or some whoever owned Ninja Turtles at the time also owned ABC and the networks that produced shows like Full House and Family Matters and all that kind of stuff. You would normally see, FYE maybe, you would very often see, I never got why people made Detroit-style pizza. Why in hell would you ever say something so blasphemous to me? A good high-sided pizza is fucking delicious, my friend. Why would you ever say that? Detroit-style pizza is so good. If you've never been to San Francisco, I would urge you to go. But I would also say that the only place you must visit if you go to San Francisco is a place called Golden Boy Pizza. It is just this Detroit-style sheet pan pizza, but it is fantastic. It is amazing. It is peerless. And that's in the whole world of pizza. And I live in the city where the DEC recently certified a pizza place as being the #1 in the world for Napolitano-style pizza. So I know my pizza. My region knows it's pizza. And I hate that you can't say that anymore. You can't say cheese pizza anymore, man. Fuck. The PDF files take everything good. It's bullshit. Stuffed crust is the only good pizza. Man, my wife would absolutely agree with that. Absolutely.
And knowing what we know now about them is really hard.
But yeah, it's really simple. It's really simple, guys. Really, really simple. First of all, Nickelodeon was not who produced Full House. It was FYE, Turner Broadcasting, the ABC gods. It was not Nickelodeon. I don't know why that's there. But it's really just because of the popularity of the Ninja Turtles, and the Ninja Turtles liked all kinds of weird shit on their pizza, bananas, cotton candy. Like, you would get these like play sets that had like build your own pizza things, and they would have weird, stupid ingredients. That's really all it is. They had to make a 3 fucking minute song to fill this 90 goddamn minute movie that was mostly about nothing. That really was just a tax write-off for the goddamn production company. They didn't want to make a movie because these twins are obnoxious. Even though they are America's sweethearts, they're still obnoxious. All right? And you know, I thought Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen were the same person for a really long time. I thought their name was Mary-Kate Ashley Olsen. And I was like, why does that person have 4 names?
count anything out. I'm gonna play the song for y'all, and y'all let me know what y'all think about it down below in the comments.
That's right. When super giant pizza, plain, nothing on it.
So are you gonna, are you gonna go minute by minute? Because I can go minute by minute. Clearly not a reference to children, because you're saying I want an extra large pizza with nothing on it. You want to order an extra large kid with nothing on it? No, clearly not. So not a reference to CP or anything like that. Or no, I think people say CSA now.
I'd like that delivered as soon as possible.
So again, I'm ordering a pizza and I want it delivered as soon as possible.
Girls, your pizza's here.
Thank you.
So they made a pizza, and they're bringing in Chinese food, what appears to be Japanese food. Oh, that's rice, I think. Or is it? What is that? Is that rice?
Okay, guys, we've cleaned out the refrigerator. I think we're just about ready.
See, so they've already set up the idea that they're going to come up with some crazy toppings. Don't hate me, but the best candy is sour Skittles. I don't think I've ever had them. I'm not really a big fan of, like, candy. I like chocolate. Chocolate's fine. I would eat milk chocolate all damn day long. But I'm not a big fan of, like, candy. I don't like sweet or tart stuff. It's just like, I don't like it. I don't know.
To build the perfect pizza. Human pizza! P-I-Z-Z-A. Human pizza! P-I-Z-Z-A. Now we're feeling kinda hungry. We got to make a munchie. Time to make our pizza. As big as some countries.
That's it so far. Pretty innocent. So obviously, they're not referring to themselves. They're not referring to other children. They're saying, how much pizza are we going to eat? Now, in the emails, if you look at the actual references to things like that, they're saying things like, hey, isn't it funny how the internet is talking about how cheese pizza can stand for CSA, and like maybe we should pick up on that, maybe we should kind of like roll with it, haha, funny, yeah, CP pizza. These are monsters talking, by the way. These are absolute fucking monsters talking. So clearly there, and if you're just watching on YouTube and you can't see the video that I'm reacting to, it's because I would love for you to click on the link that brings you over to Twitch so you can see it there. That's where you can see the full screen view, which actually shows you the picture of the video itself. Oh yeah, all of this sounds really satanic and demonic. It all sounds very much like there's... Oh yeah, absolutely, Helmet, have a good one. It really sounds like there's going to be like some kind of nefarious thing happening with this pizza, right? Did you purposely not put the videos on YouTube? Today I did, yeah. I want you to click over into Twitch and follow me on Twitch, and if you can, I would love for you to subscribe.
Are you ready to play? Now set down the pizza and bring some chicken. Throw it on top and make the finger licking. Guacamole.
Right? So we're putting chicken and we're putting guacamole on top of the pizza. Still no child abuse in these lyrics.
Meatball.
Disgusting. Still not child abuse. Not even child abuse adjacent.
Toss the fish. Let it fly. Fly, fly. Pizza pie. Pizza. P-I-Z-Z-A. Give me pizza. Watch it rise like a souffle. Give me pizza.
Pizza doesn't rise. Pizza doesn't rise. I don't... What... See, like, the lyrics just don't make sense. Like, it's not that they're hinting to something secret. It's that they just are words that don't make sense together. Watch it rise like a souffle. They just needed to rhyme with P-I-Z-Z-A. There's no other way. There's no other meaning to that. Oh, you know, you could... souffles are French, and Macron is French, and so maybe Macron had a dealing with the pizza company that is... also abusing children in the basement, perhaps. maybe chicken refers to Colonel Sanders having been a part of this ring. You know, anything could have happened.
You think we should stop? No way. Get your motors running, cause here we go. Chocolate sauce, spreading it slow. Oreo, marshmallow, caramel, coconut cream, egg bouillon, chicken tongue, holy eyeball. I'm gonna scream. Now don't forget the rice or the mashed potatoes. And what about these fried green tomatoes? Batter's up, ketchup's ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, spaghetti, pasta.
Oh yeah, spaghetti's really one of those code words, you know. Spaghetti's one of the biggest code words for CSA, you know. I don't know why, you know, they didn't pick up on that. You know, I wish they had.
Does anyone remember back in the...
Oh, weird. That was it? Almost like there's no child abuse lyrics in it at all whatsoever. It's weird. I didn't hear any. And I was listening.
She remembered her daughter's birthday way before she had a daughter. So I heard this story.
Yeah.
There's another...
Oh my god.
So that conspiracy theory.
You know what? Since we're this is technically supposed to be the end of the stream, but I do want to just have a palate cleanser real quick. I am going to save and quit to menu. But what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna open up my Instagram feed and let the algorithm take the wheel for a couple videos, because I think that'll be a fun ending to the stream. How are we gonna do this? Let's do this like this. Turn the browser view off. Boop. There we go. And then I'll put how do I want to do this? I want to do this so that it is nice and big. So that it fills the screen. Okay, maybe it's not filling the screen, but you know what? We can't ask for too much here. This is just a spur of the moment thing. All right, we're just going to do a little palette cleanser real quick. Put on the reels section here. Oh my god, I hate these. Why is that in my feed? That's why a TV. They wanted people to fight over it, of course.
Okay, should I wear pants or shorts?
Sarah, we're at the hike. We're already here.
Siri, where is the closest deer?
No hikers have given me like the flirty eyes yet.
Well, maybe that's because you're dressed like a 50-year-old beekeeper.
I like the hat. It's because it's your type, Michaela.
Shorts mode, sports mode. Let's go. Was it fun? Yes. Yes, very.
Not a scramble.
You got my heart
What the fuck? Oh yeah, it's good to know.
And I just have one question. Have you seen my parakeets? One's blue and one is yellow. Have you seen my parakeets? They flew away when I was 12 years old. And I know it's a long shot, but perhaps do you think they flew south for the winter? Will you help me find
Entirely possible. That's a good
As your
palate cleanser.
designated sandwich girl, I'm always down to travel for a great sandwich.
They said, we're done with her. We're not playing with the cheater anymore.
Mahjong.
That's why several people have stopped going on Monday nights because of Barbara. And tapped it, put it down. And
I love that there's creepy music on it.
Kyle, Sharon goes, well, just take it. Barbara said, no, I tapped it already. So then last night, I guess she did some stuff that was outright, I mean, really bad. She put her tile down and said she didn't want it. And then it was going on to Diane. And then Barbara said, I want the tile. They said, you can't do that. She did it anyway. So when you mahjong, meaning you won.
Oh man, some good shit.
Can I kiss you? Can I kiss you? Can I kiss you? You say no, you say no, you say no. And maybe it hurts to stare at the sun. I'm blinded, you are the one. Maybe.
See, I thought this, letting the algorithm take the wheel is a very good strategy. What is that? Meow.
I think that it's interesting. They got rid of the relish pump. They added a second ketchup pump, not a mustard pump, ketchup. They could add a barbecue sauce.
It's the big ketchup agenda.
Yep.
We know a guy who doesn't like ketchup.
I don't mean to cut in. We were just talking about it. This might actually make me add ketchup to this hot dog for the sweet note that we are now missing. I'm dead serious. Like, I miss that sweet note.
This is my kind of humor. Oh man.
怎么样？对面几个人？目前只有一个，但是火力太猛。跟他拼了！怎么样？对面几个人？目前只有一个，但是火力太猛。跟他拼了！
Well, I think that's as good a note as any to leave things on. I had fun today. Didn't get the engagement I get when I do the controversial stuff, but you know what? Makes me feel more wholesome. And I don't know what I just watched. Let's watch it one last time.
怎么样？对面几个人？目前只有一个，但是火力太猛。跟他拼了！
I think that really says it all.